Namaste. Please join us this Sunday on a free global online episode Agnihotra. Embrace ancient solutions for modern problems.
Stories which are brighter than yesterday. The streets have never been so quiet. The squirrels found a new hideaway. Tomorrow will never be the same. There is so much hope in our hearts. Brick by brick, we shall overcome and walk right into a new start.
Global Namaste. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the viewers of Healing Our Earth. I'm your host, Amrita Sharma, and I welcome you to this new episode of Indian Knowledge System, where we are kickstarting with a new topic of Agnihotra Homa therapy. Before we talk about it, and let our viewers know what is Agnihotra therapy, for which we have people and experts who have joined us from around the globe to share their practices, principles, as well as the belief and what magic Agnihotra holds. Let's start with Gayatri Mantra. You may hold any affirmation of your choice. Gayatri Mantra is devoted to Goddess Gayatri, which is also the connection and symbol to Lord Sun, and Sun God, which is the Surya, is the source of Agni. Before I speak more about it, it's time to always remember our God. So, with a calm mind, closing your eyes, joining your hands together, and taking a deep breath. Om. Om Bhur Swaha Tatsavitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Om Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome. I, on behalf of Healing Our Earth family, welcome all the experts for today's episode. Today's episode is based on one of the traditional concepts of Vedic knowledge, Sanatan Dharma, as well as the knowledge that the traditional medicine system holds worldwide, based on Agnihotra. As we all remember that we all the part of nature, it is just because of nature that we all exist. And that is why our ancestors world over have always felt that this existence is not simple, it's really magical. And we are blessed by Mother Nature for the existence of this. And that is why the concept of prayer offered to Agni, one of the fire elements of nature, is a beautiful concept which one of our co-producers of today is taking up as this episode. Global namaste to you, Professor Ulrich from Germany, and very good afternoon as well.
Okay, very good afternoon to you also.
Professor Ulrich, before we start, I would like to tell our viewers about you. You were born in Germany and you've studied philosophy of science, logic, and mathematics in Munich, as well as you hold a master's degree in philosophy of science and sociology with doctorate of philosophy in psychology, mathematics, and logic. You have been working as assistant professor teaching logic and methodology of science to a lot of students, and after that worked as business consultant. And then in 1980 you started coordinating research on Homa therapy, in the beginning mainly in Eastern European countries like Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Yugoslavia, etc. And since then you have taken this project worldwide, and in India you are working with different universities like Palampur Agriculture University, Kanpur University, Dharwad University, IIT Kharagpur, Vivekananda Institution, Bangalore, and many other universities and eminent institutions world over where the project of Agnihotra is carried out. You're also the recipient of Lifetime Achievement Awards for outstanding contribution in the field of environment from Indian University as well as a welfare society. And with all those publications and eminent work, we're really glad to welcome you to today's episode.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dr. Amrita, for this nice introduction. Could have been a little bit shorter also. Now, yes, I'm very happy and I'm grateful to you, to Nil Kumar, to initiate your team for giving us the chance. Us means a lot of Homa therapy, international Homa therapy teachers who are here. Some of you see now to talk about Agnihotra and the Homa therapy, which is based on Agnihotra. So today we want first give an introduction to Agnihotra. What is it? How is it done? And then the application. Why do we do it? What are the effects on the environment? What are the effects in agriculture, in medicine, in all the different areas? You know, what is the effect on the mind? What is the effect on our body? So we have experts in these different fields who will speak today. And now, before we start, you have done that also. You wonderfully sang the Gayatri mantra. We also have some musicians with us, and we want to start with some mantra music which they did. So, hope
Yes.
that works.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Healing Our Earth event. I am Gillian, that is Dennis, and we are Agnihotra and Homa therapy teachers from the Netherlands.
Yes, before we're going to start this beautiful afternoon, and we can assure you it's going to be really beautiful, we're going to do a small mantra, and we want to ask you if you like it to join us with this mantra. And the mantra is called Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram.
Wow, that's amazing. Gillian and Dennis, you really had a very nice melodious voice and singing. That's so, so peaceful and it's so nice. Yeah. Ulrich, that was really very nice, in fact. And what have you to say?
No, it was very, very nice, of course. But I know them and I know their music. So thanks again, Gillian and Dennis, for allowing us to play this video. And now we want to.
Yes, please introduce our first guest.
Yes, the first guest actually is Agnihotra. We show some morning Agnihotra in some place in India, in Maheshwar Goshala, at the banks of the Narmada. So
Okay. So you're playing in another video that we are going to share with our audience very shortly, which is showing the presentation of performance of Agnihotra near River Narmada in India. The music is not copyrighted?
no.
Okay.
Suryaya Swaha Suryaya Idam Namama Prajapataye Swaha Prajapataye Idam Namama.
That was the performance of Agnihotra performed by Professor Ulrich and his group near the river Narmada, which is again considered to be a sacred river of India. And the prayers are offered to sun god, which is Surya, and prayers to Suryaya Namaha, Prajapataya Namaha, which talks about that we are offering our prayers to fire, as the fire comes from sun, and sun, who is the giver of this light, energy, heat to the whole universe. Welcome, Gillian and Dennis. Global Namaste to you.
Hello, namaste.
Hello, namaste.
I'm really very happy to see you from Ireland right now. And where have you learned this mantra chanting? This is really very beautiful.
Yeah, where did we learn it?
Dennis is a musician, so it's not hard for him. Yeah.
No, it's actually very nice. We started with mantra music, I think, when we were in India at the Somayag. That's a very big fire process from the Vedas. After that, we were actually very touched by the mantra singing.
Yeah.
And shortly after that, we decided to start singing more mantras, because in the Homa therapy, we use, with the Agnihotra, of course, we have the mantra, but there are more mantras which you can use. And we actually decided to use it also with music, the combination. So that's why we actually, after that, started with more mantra singing. Yeah.
Beautiful. I'll be inviting you for mantra episode as well. That's very nice. So, Dr. Ulrich, please invite our next guest.
So
Over to you. Thank you.
The next guest is several people who give a short testimonial about what Agnihotra meant for them. So just a moment.
Thanks to the practice of Homa fires, the atmosphere is so charged and is so nourished that every living being benefits. Every living being regenerates and has a solution to the pollution.
We can live in harmony with nature and with human nature and attune ourselves to Mother Nature.
We liked the way it made us feel, the calmness that it brings. We were actually doing something that helped the planet. It was remarkable.
I started doing Agnihotra in 1973, and the year before that I had been practicing a specific meditation technique. The first week of doing Agnihotra, I made more progress in meditation than I had made the whole previous year. Agnihotra had such a strong effect of calming the mind and helping me to focus.
Hi, I'm Dennis. They asked me to make a short video about Agnihotra, and I can tell you a lot of stories about what my experience are, but the 30 seconds, they're never gonna make it. So one thing I want to tell you is that Agnihotra changed my life in a really positive way. I'm really glad that Agnihotra found me on this path, let's call it like that. So one thing I can tell you, give it a try. Start to do Agnihotra for yourself, for your family, for your friends, and for the world.
Hi, I'm Gillian. I used to be very shy. Since I started practicing Agnihotra, I noticed that shyness slowly faded. I begin to feel more at ease, more connected to myself, and more free to simply be me. So I'm deeply grateful for Agnihotra. It allows me to live my life fully, exactly as I am.
And in relationship to our farm, we have a Homa organic farm. We had no water and to water our crops with. And when we finally managed to drill a bore, the water was highly saline and too alkaline to water plants. It would just burn them. But by doing Agnihotra by the borehole and putting Agnihotra ash down that borehole, we got potable water in a short period of time, and this was measured by lab tests.
Hello, I'm Jolyn Brooks from Maryland, USA, and I've been practicing Agnihotra for about 4 years now. Just thinking about how it's affected my life, it's the perfect beginning and ending to my day. It sets a positive tone for everything that falls in between on one level. On a deeper level, it's allowed me to bring my forces in the middle, that is to channel my emotions, causing me to be more self-reflective and more thoughtful and more intentional as I go through my day.
Agnihotra changed my life virtually from the first time that I experienced it. I was in a group psychotherapy situation, and when I went back into the room where the group was going on after experiencing my first Agnihotra, my whole mindset had changed from being a patient to being a helper. And that experience continued the next 2, 3, 4 times in the same situation. And when I finally began doing Agnihotra, not long thereafter, on January 13, 1976, I had put behind me the depression and the addiction to marijuana, which went hand in hand and which had come close to ruining my life.
I began Agnihotra over 40 years ago. I had been a severe asthmatic since age 9. I'd had hospital treatments and shots and breathing treatments. After 2 weeks of practicing regular Agnihotra at sunrise and sunset, I was completely cured of asthma, and I remained many, many years later completely asthma-free. Agnihotra works.
Then let us go to the next point, and that is foundation of Agnihotra and Homa therapy. And the first speakers are Lisa Powers and Tom Couto, and they will introduce Agnihotra and explain a little bit more about it. So Lisa has been practicing and teaching Agnihotra since 1973. That is quite a time ago. And she's president of the Five-Fold Path Incorporated, USA, and editor of Satsang Online magazine. And since 1981, she and her husband Richard have been caretaker of Paramadam Fire Temple in Medicine, which is the first fire temple of the New Age in USA. So that is Lisa. Welcome, Lisa. And Tom is next to her. Tom was introduced to Agnihotra in the early 1970s. And since 1977, he was part of Agnihotra Press. That was a printing company especially created for printing Agnihotra materials and similar things. And he is now, he's also a certified Agnihotra teacher, and he helps to maintain a property where Agnihotra and other homas have been performed for more than 40 years. There's a strong Homa community in Baltimore, the Baltimore Homa community. We'll talk about that later on also. But so this is Tom Couto, and they both now will share the basics of Agnihotra. So welcome both Lisa and Tom, and go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, today we'll be talking about a specific method of Agnihotra. There are different things called Agnihotra, but the wonderful results you'll be hearing about today were obtained using this method. This logo is used by organizations around the world that teach this method.
People all over the world have experienced wonderful benefits from doing Agnihotra. It's being used to heal the environment and undo the effects of pollution. Agnihotra is used in several countries in organic gardening and farming applications.
Agnihotra is also used for personal healing. While we make no claims or promises, many people around the world have successfully used Agnihotra to treat all sorts of health issues. Home remedies can be made from the Agnihotra ash, and you'll be hearing more about that later. It's been a common experience that Agnihotra reduces stress and calms the mind. It creates a peaceful atmosphere in the home or wherever it's done. This calming effect can be a great aid to meditation. People have also used Agnihotra to help overcome alcoholism and drug addiction.
Agnihotra is a process of purification of the atmosphere through specifically prepared fire, performed at exact sunrise and sunset. Agnihotra comes from the Vedas, the most ancient knowledge known to man. Remnants of Vedic knowledge can be found all over the planet. Virtually all ancient societies had some form of purification through fire. In the course of time, the science was lost, but this ancient knowledge is being revived to undo the effects of pollution and heal the planet and its life forms. This is ancient universal knowledge that all people can use for their own benefit.
Agnihotra is open to all people. There is no restriction by sex or gender. There are Christians, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, Muslims, and followers of other faiths who do Agnihotra. A person may follow any guru and do Agnihotra. An atheist or agnostic may do Agnihotra. There are no prerequisites to doing Agnihotra. A person doesn't need to be vegetarian or stop drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, and so on to do Agnihotra. Actually, a lot of people find that their habits become healthier after they start doing Agnihotra. And very importantly, Agnihotra is always taught for free.
The three inputs to Agnihotra are specific materials, specific timings, and specific mantras. Nothing is to be changed or added.
The materials for Agnihotra are the copper pyramid, dried cow manure, raw whole grain rice, and ghee.
The copper pyramid is an important part of the process. The Vedic knowledge states, just at morning Agnihotra time, all the electricities, energies, and ethers are attracted to the pyramid in its shape. At sunset, these energies are thrust out in the same shape. The size and shape of the pyramid are very important. Back in the 1980s, people did experiments with pyramid-shaped objects. They found that fruits stay fresh longer when stored in pyramid-shaped vessel. One Eastern European scientist said that only a genius could have designed the Agnihotra pyramid. He found so many amazing mathematical relations in the pyramid, such as several ratios containing pi. Copper and gold are used in Ayurveda. There is very little difference in the effect. In recent years, there has been research on copper's antimicrobial properties. Some hospitals in the United States have installed copper on frequently touched surfaces to reduce the spread of hospital-acquired infections.
Dried cow manure is another requirement. Cow manure has been used in folk medicine traditions all over the world. It inhibits the growth of some kinds of bacteria. Cow dung and ghee for Agnihotra may be from any breed of cow.
Whole grain, unpolished rice is also essential. We want only whole grains. Chemically, broken grains and unbroken grains of rice will be the same, but the ancient knowledge states that the subtle energy structure is not the same, so we need unbroken grains for Agnihotra. According to macrobiotics, rice is the most balanced food grain with equal parts of yin and yang.
Ghee, clarified unsalted butter with nothing added, is also required for Agnihotra. Ghee is an important ingredient in many kinds of Ayurvedic medicine. According to ancient knowledge, it's the only substance which doesn't lose weight when burned. Ghee is said to transport the healing effects of Agnihotra fire into the atmosphere.
Accurate timings are essential for proper practice of Agnihotra. Agnihotra is done at exact sunrise and sunset for your location. If the timing is missed, it is not Agnihotra, and all the beneficial effects will not be conferred. Agnihotra is done to the second. Get timings for your exact location, either from Agnihotra Buddy on your phone, or you can get timesheets that indicate what Agnihotra timings are for your location.
The sunrise-sunset cycle is said to be the most powerful biorhythm that affects man. At sunrise, a flood of purifying energies goes from the sun to where the sun is said to rise. Of course, the sun isn't really rising and setting. That's just the way it looks to us. At sunrise, we want to catch this flood at its peak in order to make use of this enormous energy. At sunset, that flood recedes.
Sunset is another important time in nature. We could say that nature is in a state of imbalance at sunset. The growth rate of some kinds of harmful bacteria increases at sunset. Many people feel worse around sunset when they have a cold or a virus. Also, people who work with Alzheimer's patients find that those patients become more agitated or disoriented around sunset. The medicinal term for this sundowning is sundowning. So clearly a change is taking place at sunset. By doing Agnihotra at sunset, we purify the atmosphere and help restore the balance in nature until morning Agnihotra.
Now it's easier than ever to get exact timings for your location with the free Agnihotra Buddy app. And we can also calculate timings online, especially if you're going to be out of cell phone area.
The third input to Agnihotra is mantras. It is well known to science that different vibrations have different effects on living things. For example, if you play certain kinds of music to cows, they yield more milk. If you play certain kinds of music to plants, they grow better. The knowledge says that there are vibrations that exist everywhere. Where there is vibration, there is also sound. When we speak these mantras, the sounds we utter activate these special vibrations, which then creates a certain atmosphere of effect. Sanskrit is a language of vibration, and the vibrations of the mantras are essential to Agnihotra.
Morning Agnihotra mantra.
Suryaya swaha, Suryaya idam namam. Prajapataye swaha, Prajapataye idam namam.
Evening Agnihotra mantra.
Agnaye swaha, Agnaye idam namam. Prajapataye swaha, Prajapataye idam namam.
So the combination of burning specific materials in the copper pyramid, the exact timing of sunrise or sunset, and the vibrations of the mantras produces the effects of Agnihotra.
We can't fully explain how Agnihotra works, but this diagram gives an idea. We have energy coming from the sun to the copper pyramid, which is receiving and transmitting subtle energies. A channel is created in the atmosphere. reaching up 12 kilometers or 8 miles, bringing down prana energy. Prana is the life energy that connects us to the cosmos. Energy is thrust out to the plants, animals, humans, all life forms, and water resources.
We could say that all kingdoms of nature are represented in Agnihotra. Copper represents the mineral kingdom, rice the plant kingdom, ghee and cow dung represent the animal kingdom, man is the performer, and fire is the connecting link to subtler levels. Sri Vasant Paranjape, who taught many of the teachers you'll be hearing from today, taught that the human body is like a transformer, which transforms high energy from the universe to a level which is then available to all of nature, such as the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. Only humans can do that. Only humans can do Agnihotra and perform this service for all of nature.
People often ask how Agnihotra can affect the mind. This ancient knowledge says that atmosphere, prana, and mind are connected. When we make a change in the atmosphere, we make a change in prana. Due to pollution, the functioning of prana has been disturbed. By purifying the atmosphere, we harmonize the functioning of prana, which automatically gives the mind a push in the direction of love.
For more information, we have a number of resources available online. Agnihotra.org is our center here in the US. Homatherapy.org can give you information about homotherapy centers in different countries. HomaHealth.com gives people's experiences of using Agnihotra and or Agnihotra Ash Home Remedies to treat various health issues. HomaFarming.com gives many examples of how people are using Agnihotra and some related practices known as Homa farming to get wonderful results in organic agriculture. There is a WhatsApp group you can look for, Agnihotra Community. There are different groups for different countries. You're very welcome to join. Many of us learned Agnihotra from Sri Vasant Paranjape, and his books are now available as ebooks online through Amazon. I've been doing Agnihotra for 52 years, and in all that time, I've never found a better way to help the environment and support my own health and well-being than by doing Agnihotra. I think many of the people who are participating, listening today, are people who truly want to serve, who want to heal the planet, and want to serve the greater good. And there are so many demands on everyone's time. So for a small investment of time and effort, Agnihotra can yield very big results.
One last thing. Through Agnihotra, we have the opportunity to give back to the environment. Agnihotra replenishes the nutrients in the atmosphere. It feeds the atmosphere. We're always taking from the environment. Every breath we take, every drink we drink, every meal we eat, we're always taking. And this gives us the opportunity to give back to the environment, which is beneficial for everyone.
Yes, actually in Bhagavad Gita, there's a line that says, "He who eats and does not feed the energy cycle is a thief." So here is our way to give back to nature, who gives us all that we need.
And thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's lovely. That's really a very beautiful concept, and the way you have been practicing, it's really nice. I have a couple of questions before we move further, and Gillian and Dennis, please don't go away because I would like you to sing one more mantra for all our viewers again, just like that. So, Lisa and Thomas. So, Lisa, you can answer first and followed by Thomas. Do you think Agnihotra therapy practicing is it needs some prerequisite for a person, or any person in any way can perform this thing? This question goes to you, Lisa. Over to you. Thank you.
With Agnihotra, it's really come as you are. Whatever your habits or lifestyle, whatever, we start where we are. And so many people around the world in all different walks of life have found that they move toward healthier habits. People who have been struggling with serious issues, perhaps alcohol or drug addiction and things like that. Agnihotra has helped people to overcome these things. You don't have to be vegetarian or, anything really. It's open to all.
Thank you. Thomas, I wanted to ask you that suppose somebody is following Agnihotra and due to his busy schedule is not able to take out time for performing Agnihotra. Is it considered to be bad or he feels guilt about it? Is it like wrong or he can perform again whenever he feel like? Or what is the schedule that, as you said, it is like near the sunset or the sunrise, but does the timing really will matter if he's not able to do some days? Over to you.
Well, the timing is essential. So it has to be done at exactly sunrise and sunset for your location. Now, if someone's work schedule doesn't allow them to be present at those times or some other event occurs, the only thing that we can suggest is you do the absolute best that you can and just be honest with yourself as to whether or not that is the best that you can. So if you have that mindset, then you will do it at every opportunity, every day, if possible. And if not, then there's nothing to feel guilty about. You just do the best you can with it. But, again, it's to your benefit and it's to the benefit of the environment to do it as frequently as possible and keep the rhythm.
If I could add, really every single Agnihotra that's done correctly is having an effect on the environment and living things. It's kind of like taking a vitamin. If you're supposed to take it twice a day, but then you miss, well, you miss. Then you just continue, at the next opportunity.
Okay, good enough. Thank you. And Professor Ulrich, I want to ask you that suppose, as you see, you have been to India, you keep coming to India so many times. And because people are now moved to multi-storied buildings, they don't have space, there's a small balcony and all that. Can that be practiced in a small place as well, where we don't have a complete setup of a garden of our own? What's your take?
When I'm traveling, I often have only small rooms, like, for example, in a hotel. And I can perform Agnihotra in a hotel. Only thing is, you should be able to open the windows. And many people in the West, they don't have, if you have your own house and you have a balcony, that's fine. But many people live in small flats also, so it's the same situation, and still they're performing Agnihotra. So it is possible. And also, the only problem is there can be some smoke, but if you get some experience, you will learn how to make smokeless Agnihotra fires.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll get back to you for making a smokeless Agnihotra fires. Thank you so much. Thank you, Thomas, and thank you, Lisa, for joining.
Thank you.
Global namaste to you, Monika. A very warm welcome.
So welcome to everybody. I want to share some experiences about the Agnihotra fire and the Agnihotra ash. I'm a pharmacist and therefore every day I experience so much diseases from the people who come and search help. And so when I learned 1974, the Agnihotra fire from Shri Vasant, I quickly learned how great healing power this fire develops. And as it is told that this great healing power of the fire is locked in the Agnihotra ash, therefore we have something like a folk medicine, but everybody can use to help himself. So the fire itself is healing. For example, we have lots of experiences with asthma. Normally when somebody has asthma, he tries to avoid some smoke. But the experience shows when the people come close to the Agnihotra fire and inhale the Agnihotra smoke, the asthma is healed. And so, same way as the fire itself is healing, also the ash of this Agnihotra fire is healing. And you can take it with you like a medicinal substance. You can give the Agnihotra ash from the pyramid in a sieve and can make a fine powder out of it. And this fine powder of the ash, you can use like a medicine substance. You can put it on wounds. You can put it on when you have burned something. You can put it into ghee and mix it, then you have a beautiful ointment. You can put it into water and boil it, and you have an inhalation. For example, when people have cold, or you can put it in cold water when somebody has hurt, for example, the leg or the arm, and you can make like a compression around the place where the pain is. So there is such a variety of healing methods which you can apply yourself from the Agnihotra fire and from the Agnihotra ash. I have learned to remain healthy is medicine class number 1. That means even when you are healthy, it is wonderful you can perform the Agnihotra fire to strengthen your body and to remain healthy. And only medicine second class is when a person got sick, then of course to help to get health again. So in both cases, the body is supported by the Agnihotra fire and the Agnihotra ash, which you also can take internally with some water, with some honey, with yogurt, with any natural remedy. And it will support you and your body and your complete system. So it is very easy and so wonderful that everybody can help himself. We have so many cases reported. You can see it on websites and in books. But the main thing is you can perform your own Agnihotra fire and then apply your own Agnihotra ash, and you will benefit yourself as same as also your complete surrounding. You also can heal plants, or you can even heal waters, for example, when you give it into some lakes, some rivers, some well. Every part of nature is suffering in the moment so much because of pollution that it is very happy to get any help, which is so easy by the atmosphere of the fire as well as by the Agnihotra ash, which has this healing power locked in. This is the beauty of the Agnihotra for healing. And we have so many experiences what you can apply. That means what we tell and have in the books, these are only examples of healings, what people have experienced. But you always can adapt it to your personal situation. For example, when you have problems with your eyes, then you can make with Agnihotra ash your own eye drops. Or when you have problems with your back, then you can make the Agnihotra ash powder with help of the ghee to an ointment and put it on several times per day, and you will experience the beautiful help of this Agnihotra ash. Or for example, when you have heart problems, you can not only take the Agnihotra ash internally, but you also can mix it with ghee and apply it on the heart area several times per day. And so many people experienced health that the heart becomes stronger and more balanced and healthier with such easy help. So the idea is everybody can apply the Agnihotra fire and the Agnihotra ash to his own problem in the according manner. Means either as ointment or as with water or with honey. So please make your own experiments, because always wherever the Agnihotra ash goes, it starts healing. This is the principle, because the fire itself creates this great healing power and locks it in the ashes that you can take it everywhere for healing. So when people ask, how can I apply it in my personal life? I go morning to work and I'm out of home. How can I apply it, the Agnihotra ash? Then I can tell, I, for example, love to put a bit of this Agnihotra ash powder in a box into my handbag. So wherever I go, I have this Agnihotra ash with me in case of need. And in the morning, when you start your day, you never know what are you experience during this day. Whether you come to an accident, whether you come to people who have mental problems, whether you get some wound on the body, you never know in advance. So it is very nice to have the Agnihotra ash powder ready already in your handbag when you go out of the house. And whatever situation might come, you have the power of the Agnihotra fire and the help of the Agnihotra ash with you and can quickly apply it. Even when you come along of a lake and have some nice walk, the lake will be very happy when you give a little bit of your Agnihotra ash into the water of the lake. Or when you have a walk along of a river, then the river will be very happy to get a little bit of the Agnihotra ash into the water of the river. So wherever you come, it is always a blessing for yourself and for the surrounding of you when you have this ash available, because during day and during night, there is no Agnihotra time. You only have the two timings at sunrise and sunset to create the fire itself. But the power of the fire you have round the clock in form of the Agnihotra ash with you. So we have got, in the meantime, a great resonance of people who got their own help from, let us say, all the continents, actually, whether it is from the fields in India where the farmers have problems with the skin, or whether there are mothers with young babies where the eyes of the babies have problem, or whether, for example, a taxi driver has a problem because his work makes him so tired in the evening that he is so happy to just sit to the Agnihotra fire and get the power again for the rest of the day. So in actually every situation, this healing power and this strength of the Agnihotra fire, and during the rest of the day, the Agnihotra ash, you have always available for your help and also for the help of all your surrounding. This is the beauty of this Agnihotra, as it is available for everybody in any situation. You always have your own help with you. So when there are any questions, you can ask, or it is also available in books or on the website, or in experiences which are already reported in different medias. So there people themselves report, they had which problem and how they abused, how they applied either the Agnihotra fire or the ash or both. Actually, of course, both together is optimum.
Thank you, Monika. We have our founder and director, Nil Kumar, and I think he has a couple of questions and comments from our viewers. Over to you, Nil Kumar. Global Namaste and warm welcome as well.
Thank you. Welcome.
Danka, Monika, well done. You came it with passion, so that was very good. And stay around. We want to talk with you, Ulrich. Ulrich, you've got another video that you want to show us. So let's bring in a nice energy again.
Yeah, sure. I will do that very soon. But actually, after the talk of Lisa and Tom, I was supposed to talk about the effects of Agnihotra on the environment. And only then it was the Monika's turn. So we just
no problem. Please go ahead, Ulrich. Yes.
So now let us talk about the effects of Agnihotra and the environment. Okay?
Yes, please.
We know that Agnihotra purifies the environment, atmosphere, water resources, and soil, and thus brings all nature back to harmony. When I say we know, that is traditional Vedic knowledge, but is that reliable? So what says science about these claims? So let us see what we could find out. One thing is environmental pollution is one of the biggest challenges humanity faces. And climate change, many people talk about climate change, not so much about the environmental pollution, but climate change is just a part of it. And also, this pollution of air, water, and soil, and subsequently of our food, poses a big problem for the healthcare sector. According to World Health Organization, in some countries, and the biggest of them is India, between 20 and 25 of all deaths are due to environmental pollution. Some research of Cornell University even said that it's 40%. Okay, whatever is correct, it's a big problem. And worldwide, approximately 7 million people premature deaths are attributable to air pollution alone. Air pollution, a big problem in all big cities worldwide. This is a photo of Santiago de Chile. If you go to India in winter especially, it's terrible. You immediately see the effect, but in other cities it's also there. And on top of that, the polluted atmosphere has also a detrimental effect on our mind, because the flow of prana is not harmoniously anymore. So Agnihotra tackles all these problems at the root. It helps to purify our atmosphere. And if you look at atmospheric pollution, there are mainly three kinds: biological, chemical, and physical. On top of it is thought pollution. That's a different subject for later. Now, let's look at it. Biological air pollution is mainly through viruses, bacteria. And here you see a simple experiment. It was done so many times. You take a petri dish with some nutrient agar, open it for 10 minutes before Agnihotra, and then send for incubation. Means you keep it for, say, 24 hours at a certain temperature so that all the bacteria can grow. And the results you see at the left side. And then the same thing you do after Agnihotra, and you see a big reduction of these bacteria. And that has been done a number of times, has been published a number of times, so that is well established. So what about chemical air pollution and physical air pollution? Chemical air pollution is mainly NOx and SOx, oxides of nitrogen and of sulfur. So what you see here, that during Agnihotra or a little bit after Agnihotra, these values go up a little bit, but then come down by, say, 30 to 40%. And that is especially interesting when you look at particulate matter, because you perform Agnihotra and there's some smoke. Okay, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, but some smoke is there. And smoke is particulate matter. But still, at the end, there will be less particulate matter. So somehow the smoke of Agnihotra does not add to the air pollution, but it reduces air pollution. And by the way, also the smoke is different from other smokes. This is why many people have reported that their asthma has been controlled with Agnihotra. So the smoke is a different smoke. We still are looking into it, whether we can find, when we look with maybe electron microscopes into the particles of Agnihotra smoke, whether you can find some difference. Whatever, we will find out. This is just the experiment. I was performing Agnihotra, and in the back you see a high volume air sample at one university. One possibility how Agnihotra helps, and also how Agnihotra helps to reduce the particulate matter in the air, may be negative ions. Negative ions, okay, their name is negative, but the effect is very positive. Negative ions are an indicator of fresh air, of healthy air. So go to go to the forest or go to a waterfall, there will be an increase in negative ions. And normally smoke, any smoke, reduces the number of negative ions. But with Agnihotra, it's different. Agnihotra increases the number of negative ions. Like you can see here, these graphs show at Agnihotra time when Agnihotra was performed, there's a big increase in the number of negative ions. And these negative ions are very healthy. Another thing is water resources. Monika mentioned that you put Agnihotra ash to water. So there was an experiment. It was done in Pune, India. They took water from a polluted river, okay? Not difficult. All rivers in Pune are very much polluted. So they took this water and they poured it through a cylinder, glass cylinder, which was filled with Agnihotra ash. They poured it through the cylinder and they measured the quality, water quality before and after. You see all the parameters of water quality were improved, including the bacterial count. Bacteria were reduced by 93 to 98%. So from very bad water, you could get potable water. It was published also. And not only in small scale, like treating your drinking water, but also on large scale. Monika mentioned you can put Agnihotra ash to some lake. Here, that is the river, the Narmada River in Maheshwar, our Homa therapy center over there. And they monitored the water quality in some research stations upstream, some research stations downstream, and then also at our Agnihotra place. And they found that at this Homa therapy place, Maheshwar, you see the second last row column, the water quality is much better than upstream and downstream. It's so much better that it even even fulfills the parameters of the World Health Organization for drinking water. I mean, it's not totally pure, but it is much better than upstream, downstream. By just performing Agnihotra and some other fires over there, later on Sabajit Paranjapi will talk and he can tell a little bit more. And by adding Agnihotra ash to the water regularly. So that was this part, the effect of Agnihotra on the environment. And now we come to the next, and that is a video of the effect of Agnihotra on health, on human health. And this video is mainly, it's a collection of photos of what they did, because in what Abel and Aleta, what they do is they often work together with doctors in hospitals, and they have a lot of experience with that. Abel studied biology and chemistry, and together with his wife Aleta Makan from Austria, they travel a lot in South American countries. They are based in Peru, but travel a lot to other South American countries, and there they go and share the knowledge of Agnihotra and Homa therapy. Also, they are the publishers of a monthly international Homa therapy newsletter. So now let us look at their video.
Hello, dear family. We're going to show you some photos where you can see how Homa therapy is spreading in South America among doctors and health practitioners. We say that one picture worth thousands of words. Homa therapy has been practiced in state hospitals, clinics, Homa healing centers, schools, universities, and public and private institutions. Of Agnihotra can be seen on the faces of the participants from the very beginning. Therapy is peace of body, mind, and soul. Peace for the children, the parents, the whole family. Is peace in the urban and rural areas. Homa therapy is peace for the animals, the plants, and the whole ecology.
Shanti.
Okay, so you have seen many, many healing fires in South America, and especially what they do is they invite people, and everybody comes with their own Agnihotra kit, and there are many places where they have mass Agnihotras, as you have seen. And before, Amrita, you asked, can you do it in a small room? You have seen how many people were there in a small room performing Agnihotra, and it works well. Sometimes I think they have big, massive fires. I was there in some conference they had in some university in Pura, and I thought, oh, is that not dangerous? Because people were close to each other and these big fires, but never everything happened. And by the way, we now had the chance again to hear the beautiful voices of Gillian and Dennis because it was their music in this video.
The beautiful mantras of Sehna Bhavatu, Sehna Bhunaktu. That's really nice. I was really enjoying it actually, and it's really nice. Let's hear from our founder and director, Nil Kumar. Yes, Nil Kumar, you have any comments?
I
Over to you.
simply loved it. People from South America, indigenous population, in a very spiritual, calming moment, were not only enjoying it, but in a soothing way, spreading the word. So, Ulrich, thank you very much once again, bringing people around the globe, which is what Healing Our Earth is about. The ethos of Healing Our Earth is to unite the globe as one family, no caste difference, no creed difference, no race difference. So, Ulrich, that's fantastic. Before we go to Nesari, Dr. Nesari, Ulrich, how did you connect to these people?
Oh, I mean, we all connect mainly through our teacher, Srivasan Paranjapi, who traveled around the whole planet to teach Agnihotra. So he met all of us. And then, of course, we came together. So we are one big family. And so these are all my friends. So it is easy to invite them. And we live in some centers also, so where we are connected. And at the end, we also will hear a little bit more about these different places. So now, yeah, let us go to Dr. Nesari, Dr. Tanuja, and that is very interesting because now she shifted, but before she was the director of All India Institute of Ayurveda, and I went there to talk about Agnihotra and research, of course, and she was very much interested, and they immediately, say after 2 weeks after I was there, they started to perform Agnihotra there themselves. So that is a great thing. This is a big clinic and research center and they perform Agnihotra there regularly and with very good results. So let us see what the director says.
That brought us the idea of starting Agnihotra in the All India Institute of Ayurveda, a premier research institute of India's national government. During the past year, Agnihotra was performed on its premises regularly, attracting hundreds of attendants. A positivity in the atmosphere brought them all to the Homa site.
Agnihotra, that is the one way where not only it pures the environment, but it pures your thought and spiritual clarity and also mental well-being. So it has the impact what we have observed at All India Institute of Ayurveda, where it leads not only to environmental purity, but at an individual level, spiritual, mental and physical well-being also, it has a positive impact.
Okay, so that was her short statement. It was really astonishing that they are practicing Agnihotra there. Now they also start some research. One thing is on the effect of Agnihotra ash on medicinal plants. It's a big project which they are starting. And the other thing is they developed a questionnaire to monitor the benefits of Agnihotra on the patients and the doctors who come to morning and evening Agnihotra regularly there. So that is a very good thing. So now, as we have seen a lot of videos, maybe the next thing should be Barry Rathner and Henry Gregory talking about Homa psychotherapy and mind training. And then we start with this video on Agnihotra and live blood analysis. So Dr. Henry Gregory is a clinical psychologist with over 50 years of experience, and he's providing therapy and training clinicians to do so nationally and internationally. He's a retired professor at the University of Maryland and currently serves as the president of the Baltimore Homa community. And we'll talk about this Baltimore Homa community a little bit later also. And Barry Rathner, he was born in USA, and 1 year after beginning Agnihotra, he received a master's degree in counseling psychology, and he had practiced in Holland, India, USA, and Poland. Now he lives in Poland, in this place, Prugo Aranya, where several of us here reside. And he often incorporates Agnihotra and the other 4 steps of fivefold path into his Homa psychotherapy. And he's specializing in depression and addiction, and often employs Homa therapy, drug, alcohol detoxification program. So now over to them, Henry and Barry.
Homa psychotherapy. I want to talk about it in 3 aspects. First, about how it manifests itself. First, when the practitioner does Agnihotra regularly, the therapist, the clinician, the practitioner, that is going to help create a calmer mind and make it easier for that clinician to connect with whomever. So Agnihotra, as we've been saying, purifies the atmosphere, and that includes us as beings who are part of the atmosphere. And it helps our energy to be more pure. When a therapist or clinician is doing Agnihotra, he or she can go deeper into their own sense of being, deeper into their own connections, and be more present. And their energy is more pure in the interaction. So that's one way it manifests when the clinician does Agnihotra. Number 2 is when therapy is done in a place where Agnihotra is done regularly. I have a home office, and very regularly new clients come in, and the first thing they talk about is how peaceful the place feels, how peaceful it feels from this continual practice of Agnihotra. So that's number 2. And of course, number 3 is when the client also participates in Agnihotra. Then you have this purification process happening at all 3 levels, where the energy is being purified, and in the process, the mind is being calmed, and we're getting off of the surface of the mind and going deeper into our brain waves. Most of us exist, in our alpha, in our beta, and our gamma problem solving daily brain waves. But when we start to do Agnihotra, the access to those deeper brain waves, those theta and those delta, become more available to us. And that's when we can go deeper inside, know ourselves more completely, begin to understand things more holistically, and respond to that. So, two pieces. One is about content. Content is what you focus on in therapy. And for Homa psychotherapy, some of the basics are the seven, what are considered the seven deadly passions in Ayurvedic work. And that's anger. Anger is one of the most toxic energies on the planet. If we allow somebody or something to make us angry enough long enough, we will pay, because the tension, the stress on our systems, on our minds will increase, and thereby will be compromised. Then there's lust. Lust is our passion, not just for sex, but for food, for things. It's about always trying to get something. It feeds number 3, which is greed. Greed is we can never get enough. The more we get, the more we want. We haven't seen, excuse my language, but we haven't seen a billionaire yet say, I have enough money. The more we get, the more we want, because what's being fed is that urge that continuously pulls us when we're caught in greed. And greed is not just about money. It's about power. It's about status. It can be manifest in many, many different ways. Then there's pride. Pride is kind of the center of the ego. It's about thinking it's about us. It's about us. But we all do better when we get past that and say, not my will, but thy will. And we begin to understand that our job is just to be a vehicle, a conduit of the divine, and therefore manifest the divine within. Envy. Envy is about looking at other people and what we admire in them and not feeling good about it. As opposed to when we're in a pure state, a healthy state, we feel good about whatever healthy, gratuitous experiences people are having. And then there's attachment. Attachment. Attachment, when we get attached to name and fame, to money, to our ideas, our perceptions, any of that can limit our ability to go deeper. Because at some level, mental health is about being able and willing to adjust, adapt, and accept, to shift. Life is about continual change. And when we can move with change, then we can be healthier. And when we're doing the fire regularly or working with somebody who's doing the fire, it helps us to be more open to, receptive, and flow with change rather than become resistant and stuck in one of our passions. The last piece that I wanted to bring up real quickly is the issue of process. So content is what we do. Process is how we do it. And that's when we can manifest some of our highest values, be in the purest state, and then, of course, be healthiest. So we use what we call the 7 rules of thumb for that. The 7 rules of thumb. The first is no fault finding. That says that when we're talking Homa psychotherapy, we're not looking for what's wrong with people. We're looking for what's right with people in the situation. We're looking for what's working for them. We're looking for their resilience, their persistence, their potential, their capabilities, and to feed that. I mean, so often I work with clients from all statuses of life, some who've been involved in substances and jail and stuff. And I mean, sit down and I said, how did you make it? What did you do to make it through 20 years in jail and 15 years of substance abuse and whatever. And they look at me with like total surprise, like they've never thought of that. But anything, if you've been through all of that and you survived, you were doing something right. So our job is to help them to identify and be conscious of what's been working for them so they have the choice to use that to move forward in their lives. That's no fault finding, looking for strengths, positivity, looking for the assets. Then there's single pointedness. Single pointedness is about one thing at a time. The mind can do a lot of things. It can move very rapidly, but it can only do one thing at a time. And when we do one thing at a time, we go deeper. One of the things that's happening in the world right now, people are so programmed to be on the surface of the mind, overstimulated and under-nurtured. So single pointedness is about being present in one's experience. So again, we can go deeper in that experience and not be totally and continually distracted from our own well-being and connection with life, with the divine, with the universe. Number three is discrimination, decision-making. So in the West, they teach about the logic, meaning the left side of the brain and all of that, and that's where you make your decisions and all that. But it's larger than it. First of all, the brain is not just the left side, the right side with things, associations and continuity happen. But even past that, real decision-making is not only in the brain, it also includes the heart, our emotions. When we learn to be emotionally competent, to receive our emotions. Sri Vasant used to say, emotions are messengers. And when we can receive them and process them, then we can let them go and they give us direction, they give us guidance. And so it's the brain, it's the heart, and the gut, the intuition, that part that goes beyond how we know, that the life is talking to all of us all the time. And when we are open, when we are receptive, all of us have had times when we said, oh, something told me not to do that. Oh, something told me I needed to check that out. When we learn to listen to that still small voice within, and listen to our hearts and our brains, our total mind together, we are healthier. And the fourth one is non-attachment. Non-attachment is our job is to do the best we can in the moment. We have our goals, but we're not attached to our goals, because whether we produce what we intend to produce, whether we meet that goal or something, is beyond our control. It's beyond our control. There may be other factors, other people, whatever. Our job is to be in the present. We're living in the past is depression. Living in the future is anxiety. Is to be in the present and do the best we can. And to help with that process, we say no fault finding, single pointedness, discrimination, non-attachment, the last three. Think something good, say something good, do something good. Or in other words, manifest faith. Faith. Focus on the positive, giving positive feedback. Think about the person that you're working with in the sense of what their uniqueness is, their capabilities. So much of what's currently done it's about putting people in boxes according to how they fit into the gross national product diagnosis. We're saying that everybody has something unique to contribute. And part of our job as clinicians is to help them to discover what their weaknesses is and how to align with that. So that's quick and dirty, but to just pass it over to Barry so he can add some.
You said it all, Henry. I have nothing to add.
So keep it short, Barry. Keep it short because we are a little late already.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay.
So we have 2.5 hours till sunset. So when we teach Agnihotra, we have a saying we like to repeat: believe what you experience, we tell the students. Believe what you experience, not what we say necessarily or what we do, but what you experience. Now, in October of 1975, I was in a group psychotherapy situation in Baltimore, USA, and I was trying to come out of a very serious, life-threatening depression. The psychiatrist in that group offered the 22 people to go into the next room and meditate, as he said it, with Ross Ford, the psychologist. I did it. That was the first time I experienced Agnihotra. I went back into the room with the other 17 people who didn't go to experience the fire. And all of a sudden, I was transformed from a patient to a helper. And that repeated itself 3 or 4 times, once a week over the next month. And I said, there's something special going on here. So eventually I got my master's degree. I started Agnihotra in January of 76. And one interesting thing about Homa psychotherapy is that it's not just Agnihotra. It's not just Agnihotra. Ulrich mentioned before something about Agnihotra being 40% of the fivefold path. Well, what Homa psychotherapists try to do is to help the client do the other 4 aspects of the fivefold path. Dan, Tapa, Karma, Swadhyaya. Dan, sharing your assets in a spirit of humility. Tapa, self-discipline. Karma, living your life in consonance with the law of you reap as you sow. And then especially number 5, Swadhyaya, self-study. If psychotherapy is anything, it is self-study. Yes, you may have the help of a therapist, but you have to do the work, and that is self-study by definition. So if once in a while you'll see someone who's been doing Agnihotra for a while, and they'll say, I've definitely improved, but I'm not happy about this or this or this. The first thing I say to them, and I used to say this to myself in the beginning, if I was having a bad day, what of these 4 things am I not doing enough of? I would never miss Agnihotra, but am I doing enough Dan, Tapa, Karma, and Swadhyaya? So if a person, self-study is a 24-hour job. It never stops. So you really can't say you've been doing enough of it. I've seen it all pretty much in these almost 50 years. I worked for 10 years in the prisons of Los Angeles area, prisons and jails. I did Agnihotra in a prison there and was told by the inmates the next time I came, wow, we really slept well that night that you did it there. And we had less fights. So that goes along with our experience as well. People ask, Lisa spoke earlier saying you don't need to be a vegetarian. You don't need to abstain from anything to do Agnihotra. But what Agnihotra did for me was it helped me beat a life-threatening addiction to marijuana and a life-threatening depression. And in case you're wondering if you can get addicted to marijuana, the answer is yes. And that's why I'm an advocate against legalizing marijuana, especially for the youth. And that is a important word these days because young people, we who are not young kind of got into this mess of the world kind of gradually, you might say. The young people were born into it and don't know how to get out of it. And they're turning to drugs and alcohol and suicide. That's how bad it's become. Let me say something about not 100%, not 100%. When somebody comes up and says, I have a problem with this or this or this, but I do Agnihotra, and I say, okay, what about Dan Tapa Karma Swadhyaya? The other thing to realize, and we as therapists try to remember this, there's a karmic aspect to healing. There's a karmic aspect to healing. It's not you do A, B, C, and D, and then you're healed. You have samskara, old impressions on the mind from this life, from previous lives, and it takes time to work through them. So the title of this was supposed to be Training the Mind to React with Love, that's what Homa therapy or Agnihotra is, to react with love. That's what we tried to do. That's what I've experienced my clients making progress in, and all of the people on your screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Wonderful. We are slightly overrunning. Ulrich, we've got 2-3 videos we want to show. You got Abhays and other people. And doesn't matter, we will take everybody, even if we have to extend the time, okay? People are enjoying themselves. So over to you, Ulrich. Do you want to play a couple of videos and we move on?
Okay, let's first, because in this session I wanted to talk a little bit about scientific research on healing body and mind.
Please go ahead.
So I will do that, then I will show the video of Ringma, and then we go to farming and ecology, okay?
Awesome, let's go for it.
Okay, let's start with this video from Ringma. Ringma is from Australia. She will give a talk a little bit later. They have a Homa center in Australia and the Homa Therapy Association of Australia. And the center they have for 35 years, it's called Om Shri Dham. And so she will give a talk later, but this is some interesting, very interesting finding in the field of medicine with dark field microscopy.
Hi, I'd like to share with you how rapidly healing can take place just by sitting for Agnihotra, and how rapidly one can heal just by consuming Agnihotra ash, in water that is, or by itself. I've had many experiences over the 35 years of performing Agnihotra of instant healing of discomfort, instant healing of pain. Live blood analysis with dark field microscopy is actually showing these instant results as detected in the blood. So here is a slide of sticky blood. So sticky blood is clumping blood cells, clumping red blood cells. So they're not free flowing. And that means they cannot transport the oxygen and nutrients easily because they're not free flowing. Neither are they separated. When they're separated, then the surface of the cell can deliver more nutrients and oxygen. So the first slide is showing this clumping sticky blood, which indicates dehydration, but also it's a toxic condition. And after just 15 minutes, after consuming water charged with Agnihotra ash, the cells, the red blood cells, are free-flowing once more and normalized, so they can deliver the oxygen and the nutrients. Then slide 3 is again clumping red blood cells or sticky blood. And after the patient was just exposed to Agnihotra, the blood flow has normalized in the right slide. That's pretty remarkable. So this was demonstrated by Dr. Ralph Hertel and an alternative practitioner, Katrin Mogal, in Germany. Similarly, Dr. Villanueva of Calipay Wellness Center in the Philippines in 2023 did this test on a patient. So a patient presents with headache, nausea, and restlessness. And the dark field microscopy in Exhibit A shows sticky blood. The red blood cells are unable to freely transport oxygen and nutrients, and there's also many unhealthy cells. 15 minutes after a glass of purified water, so just a glass of water, the blood hydrates and is more normalized, but 75% of the blood cells have a bullseye. You can see those bullseyes. That indicates parasitized by microorganisms or lacking iron. So 75% of the cells are still compromised. But 15 minutes after consuming purified water, including Agnihotra ash, the cells are completely free-flowing and 90% of the cells are healthy. And the patient actually notes absence of the above symptoms of headache, nausea, and restlessness. So just 15 minutes and you can see this beautiful healing taking place and clearly shown in live blood analysis. So the conclusion that we must come to is that Agnihotra and Agnihotra medicinal ash show a remarkably fast healing effect on the condition of the blood. But of course, we invite more experiments to be done. Thank you.
Okay, so that was Lee. She sent this video. She will be online a little bit later with her own talk on Agnihotra and protection during environmental disasters. And now I want to show a presentation on scientific research on healing body and mind. It is quite interesting what Lee said. So let's go to that. So with Agnihotra ash, all types of physical and mental diseases could be healed. We have seen, more strictly speaking, we have seen cases where all different kinds of diseases have been healed. Of course, not every disease will be healed. Even HIV positive children got much better after Agnihotra. You see here, that was a project done in Mysore, southern India, Karnataka, where HIV positive children, which were abandoned by their families, they were all in one center. And the organizer of that center, he invited me and suggested, what can you do to help them? And I said, okay, Agnihotra would be good, but each of the children should perform Agnihotra him herself. Not just one Agnihotra for everybody, but all the children should perform Agnihotra. So he got 20 pyramids and they started Agnihotra. Also, they were consuming Agnihotra ash in water and in food. And after half a year, their general health became much better. Before the doctor who was treating these children said he often had to come in the middle of the night because of some infections, some problems, but that did not happen anymore. And the children who were lethargic before now were running around and playful and looking very healthy. And also after some time, the viral load came down considerably. So that was a very good experience. So this is happening with Agnihotra, but also pathogenic bacteria are controlled, even multi-drug resistant bacteria. That was an experiment done in Nepal some time ago. That's very interesting because that's a big problem, these multi-drug resistant bacteria, especially in hospitals. And also the virulence of bacteria is reduced. Then we did some experiments in Germany, which showed that free radicals from the environment were inhibited, that Agnihotra strengthens the immune system, and Agnihotra ash water resulted in significant improvement of cell vitality. Here are the results in detail. If you want, I can send you the report. And then cancer is a big problem nowadays, and it's really getting very big in India. One doctor in a place in Madhya Pradesh where they grow pulses and they use a lot of pesticides, he said normally he had 2-3 cancer patients in 1 month. Now he has 5-6 in a week. So it's really getting worse. So 2 things regarding that. One thing is we tried and found out that Ayurvedic plants like Tulsi and Neem, they showed higher anti-cancer properties as compared with same plants from outside. This was an experiment done with Lucknow University. We took the plants from our Homa place in Maheshwar and sent them to this institute, and then also for comparison, the same plants from a few kilometers away. And the anti-cancer properties of the Homa plants was much better. Here you can see the details. Then another thing is, because many pesticides are in our food, of course, best is to buy organic food, not always is available, and not for everybody it is possible to buy to pay the higher prices. So what we did is we took grapes, because we know that grapes are highly sprayed with pesticides. And these grapes we bought from the market, they were tested and they found 15 pesticides in these grapes. And then they soaked it in Agnihotra ash water overnight, and for comparison, just in normal water. And 11 of these pesticides, there was a big reduction in the pesticide load. The reduction was from 75 to 95%. So that is really a very encouraging result. And therefore, I went to an agricultural university in Hisar, Haryana, India. And they are now doing a very comprehensive studies of all the different pesticides, of all the different food, fruits, vegetables, and see how Agnihotra ash helps. This would be a very good thing, because that's something which everybody can easily apply at home. You know, you just take Agnihotra ash and soak your vegetables or the fruit overnight in Agnihotra ash water, and that reduces a lot of these problems we otherwise have with the pesticides. Now, Agnihotra in our mind. Henry and Barry already talked about the effects of Agnihotra on the mind. Now, what is the modus operandi? How does it work? Okay, with Homa therapy, we purify our atmosphere and our environment. And it is stated by Vedic knowledge that by inducing a change in the atmosphere, you bring about a change in the functioning of prana, the life of energy which connects us to the cosmos. And that has a very beneficial effect on our mind, as prana and mind are like 2 sides of the same coin. Prana and mind immediately connected. And the atmosphere controls the flow of prana. And with Agnihotra, we purify the atmosphere, and therefore the flow of prana is done harmoniously. And this is what we can do. That is what Lisa and Tom already showed, which shows how the atmosphere is purified with Agnihotra. And then you can see the effect on our mind. That was a study done in Moscow several years ago. It shows a person, the brainwaves of a person, and you see the main area is beta. The beta waves, they stand for activity, but also for stress. So most people are have more beta waves because our life is not so easy. And alpha waves, you see only 70%. And after one Agnihotra only, beta came down to 23% from 70 something, and alpha went up to 50, nearly 57%. So that shows how immediately Agnihotra calms down our mind and makes us more happy. Another thing is that is a technique based on Gillian photography. You may have heard of that. It's called GDV, gas discharge visualization, developed by a Russian professor of physics. And he measures the energy of your fingers and then calculates your energy body and also the chakras. And you see here, before Agnihotra, the chakras of the person, this person does not perform Agnihotra. So we found somebody who does not perform Agnihotra. And you see the chakras are very much out of balance. And after one Agnihotra only, you see mainly in one line, only the throat chakra was a little bit off, but also much better than before. So that shows the tremendous effect Agnihotra has on health and also on your mind. And that explains also some of the health benefits we have seen in other places.
Remarkably, very well, Dr. Ulrich. That's really nice to bring forth in public opinions the usefulness, the research work that is going on Agnihotra, which is very beneficial for a lot of people. And I think people might understand the importance of practicing Agnihotra and how important it is to utilize it in today's time, specifically in the time of stress and where our minds are polluted, and how does the body and mind can be benefited out of it. And it has proven up good research to amalgamate with ancient knowledge systems to utilize for different diseases, whether it is diseases related with cancer or other mental disorders.
Okay, so now we have completed the session on healing the body and human consciousness with fire. And now we go to session 4, regenerating ecology and soil. And there first we have 2 videos. One is of Abhay Mutalik Desai. He is an organic farmer in southern India, near Belgaum, who has very good results. And he's one of the few farmers who are also economically very successful.
Like in the West, in the East too, in Karnataka, India, an organic farmer practicing Agnihotra is getting superlative results with Homa farming.
I used to practice a lot in organic farming. After I started Homa therapy, I reduced the practice, a lot of things which I used to do earlier. It is only Homa therapy and is doing Agnihotra, and only water is given, that also very less water. But the wonderful part is the soil has improved a lot.
And okay, so that was very short, but it's impressive to see his farm. Somebody who is doing some kind of gardening in a city, in indoor, rooftop gardening. And that's quite interesting because that is something, not everybody has a farm, has land, but many people have this possibility on their roof to have some little garden.
And Mr. Anand, a retired engineer from Indore, India, has a plush rooftop garden thanks to Agnihotra.
I make Agnihotra ash water, which is sprayed on the plants, which gives them a special energy,
And it's a totally different thing when you spray Agnihotra water. The plants start growing and they start growing much better than otherwise.
So that was also a short interview of Arun Anand. He's a friend of Karin Heschel. She introduced him to Agnihotra. She will talk a little bit later. Now we go to Poland, and there we have Jarek Bizberg, who is founder of the Homa Therapy Foundation in Poland and author of Homa Farming book, Homa Farming for the New Age, and also co-founder of Eco Village Progo Arania in southern Poland, where we, some of us sit right here. And he talks about acidic soil in this place here.
So in 1996, we started gardening here. Of course, the soil was extremely acidic, clay, stone, so we had to use compost. And in 2003, we took the soil to be sample tested at the agricultural laboratory in Krakow, and they told us that no way we can grow any vegetables in this kind of soil until we use 2.5 tons of lime, potassium, phosphorus, nitrogen, and then we can perhaps grow some vegetables. What they didn't realize is that thanks to homotherapy farming and organic composting, we were already growing every kind of vegetable, all kinds of greens, like you can see now, everything. And this is the beauty of homotherapy farming. It goes beyond logical, monocultural, even beyond ecological permacultural farming. It speeds up the process of regeneration. So we did sunrise, sunset Agnihotra, lots of Triambakam every day, and lots of Agnihotra ash. That's the key.
I just see, I think Abhay Mutalik Desai is there, is it?
Abhay?
Hello? Can you unmute yourself?
Is this the person, Ulrich?
Yeah,
What
you
is your
said
name?
so.
What's his name?
Okay, Abhay, hello.
Namaste.
Global
Good evening.
Namaste, Abhay.
Namaste. Yeah.
Good evening.
Anyway, I will already a lot of things have been spoken about Agnihotra and the effects on mental health, and of course we have experienced it because we have been doing Agnihotra since since 2000. So it is almost 25 years we have spent time with Agnihotra. And I am an organic farmer, though I am a chemical engineer, but I have not touched the chemicals for last 25 years. Once I was introduced to this Homa therapy. Of course, I started organic farming in 94, but this I got the knowledge in 99. So it was Sri Gurudev, Sri Vasant Paranjape, who traveled all over the continents, and I was very lucky to have him as my guru who taught me Homa therapy. In my life, I had two gurus, one who taught me organic farming to become a totally self-reliant farmer. So, and he gave the 3 mantras. Don't sell, you don't buy any inputs. You don't sell your raw material. You add value to it, and you don't sell to the middleman. You sell it directly to the actual user or consumer. So that was the mantra given by him to become self-reliant organic farmer. But as a continuation of that, of course, we were using a lot of recipes. To make the chemical farming to convert into organic, we were using a lot of recipes, different type of recipes for plant protection. It was composting. I was preparing almost 60-70 tons of compost every year. And another reason was I was growing vanilla, and that was the first produce which I started with organic farming. So, but later when I was introduced with Homa therapy, it was something I never realized that something like this could work miracles on the farm. And the journey started. I will just share a little bit. Of course, I have not come prepared. I'm in Goa now at present. And I will show you some of the old participant screen sharing. You can please allow me to share. This is one. This is where the thing changed. It is I can call
a turning point in my life. This vanilla, it started, but along with this is the one which really brought into limelight as per my experience about the Homa therapy along with organic farming. Earlier, a lot of people did organic farming, and the best thing they could have achieved was 2.5, 2.7% vanillin. But along with Homa therapy, it was the highest vanillin content in my vanilla beans, which were grown in 2000 year. Then we sent the same vanilla beans to CFTRI, which is a Central Food Research Center, for vanillin content, analysis in vanilla oil. And I still remember the person who had tested had called me, and he asked me, what is the expectation of highest vanillin content in vanilla? And as far as that time, in the reference which I had got was 27 to 28% of vanillin in the vanilla oil. But he told, you will be shocked. I'm very glad to tell you that it is containing 36% vanillin. So that was something miracle. Then, particularly and another concept which I started was, this is one, I use the produce to highlight vanilla, to highlight Agnihotra. Whatever I have produced, the experience is, what are the changes environmentally, that is a different issue, but at the same time, the quality of the produce which I am getting, it is unbelievable. And with very little effort, because I remember Gurudev told me once, after some years, you just do Agnihotra and you don't do anything. Literally, that time I did not believe him, because how only things can be grown only with Agnihotra and you don't do. Of course, now I am making my farm to work, the nature to work, and I am just an observer and experiencing the whole thing. And it is only because of Agnihotra. I am using only Agnihotra ash. And even all the changes, even see, for example, I was growing that time 20 acres of sugarcane in 2005. And there was a woolly aphid attack all over in Karnataka and Maharashtra. And we got the whole thing controlled by just doing Agnihotra. So these are my experiences. This is how and then literally next is I could, similarly, now there's another produce which is taking Agnihotra.
Abhay, can you stop screen sharing, because you are playing some commercial?
Yeah, okay, no problem. I will just come directly to another produce after vanilla. The things have changed. Now I'm producing a jaggery powder out of, jaggery preparation I've started since last 15 years. And with my sugarcane, I don't sell my sugarcane to the sugar factory. I am producing all jaggery into this, and that is one of the wonderful product which has been highlighting Agnihotra effect. The customer who uses this, he is all the time back to me. So this is another way of, by selling my produce, giving the best produce, I am highlighting how Agnihotra can play an important role in the production of food, because food is there enough, but is that food edible? This was the question normally Sri Gurudev used to ask us. That is how it has made an impact. I am growing turmeric. So again, as we already known, that any produce which grown in a Homa atmosphere has higher efficacy, has got medicinal value, and this is what I have achieved through Agnihotra, that we are producing a medicinal food, a highly nutritional food, and a food which can be distinguished from just normal organic farmer and Homa organic farming. So this is the wonderful results which I got in whatever produce I am making. So I am using this jaggery powder to promote Agnihotra. The people buy and keep on buying, and then they come to know how it is done. Then I tell you, do Agnihotra, and this is now hundreds and thousands of people have started Agnihotra in Karnataka. And even I remember it was in 2000, Sri told me once, do you know why I have come here? And then he told, a day is going to come where Karnataka is going to lead in Agnihotra in India. And that is happening. Of course, people start for different reasons, maybe for personal reasons or whatever it is. But the thing is, it is all divine work going on effortlessly. And as far as I am concerned, I am using my produce to promote Agnihotra, apart from teaching Agnihotra.
Great. Very good. Thank you, Abhay. Thank you, Abhay.
Yeah. Well,
by the way, we all here in Pomerania also are very fond of your jaggery. I brought some from India. Now, Jarek Bizberg is also here. We saw his video just before Abhay Desai's video. So maybe, Jarek, you can just add a few words, not much, because we are already half an hour behind our schedule.
Jarek, you can unmute yourself. Please go ahead. Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry. Namaste. So, unlike Abhay, I was never into farming or gardening. Of course, I was into Mother Nature. But since doing Agnihotra, I started back in the early 70s, thanks to Paramasadguru Sri Gajanan Maharaj in a Calcutta, and then went to Australia and started a farm many years later, and then came to Poland. And I don't really just want to talk about Homa gardening because I'm not really a Homa gardening or a Homa farmer. Rory and Asha are more experienced and more professional in that area. But it's not only about getting better vegetables or higher yields. What really it's about is balance. Balance in the soil, just the same as Ayurveda teaches balance in the body. And when that balance is lost, like in Ayurveda, you have too much inflammation, too much heat, too much acidity, or too many toxins, then diseases begin. Exactly the same thing is true for soil. And what is happening now, scientists, for example, around the world are telling us that around 80% of soils carry pesticide residues, mainly glyphosate. And glyphosate is not just a herbicide, it's also an antibiotic. And people probably know what antibiotics do. And in Europe, for example, studies have found that 9 out of 10 soil samples are even, glyphosate is even in 9 out of 10 soil samples and even in earthworms. Pretty shocking. So what does all this do? It fertility drops in the soil, microbes die, and the food loses its prana, and it's that, which is what's been talked about already. And consequently, so do we, because we are eating those foods. And the other thing is that every year, 5 billion tons of glyphosate, which is the same thing as Roundup, as well as in other chemicals, are being loaded into the soil. Now, this then drains into the water system of the world, and then from the water system, it evaporates into the atmosphere. So what we have found, though, in Poland, that our soils, which are acidic and heavy clay and difficult to work with, when we've been performing Agnihotra and adding Agnihotra ash to the compost and to the soils, to the fields, to the garden, something changes. The acidity is removed, like was shown in that video. The soil gets softer, microbes return, birds return, frogs return, butterflies return. All of nature starts coming back into a natural ecological balance. And this is because of Agnihotra. The ash actually, as you've already heard, carries the vibration of the mantras, carries the vibration of the energy, the prana from during sunset and sunrise. And this is all healing the soil. So just like in Ayurveda, Agni, Ama, is digesting the toxins and reducing them. So in the same way, Agnihotra ash is digesting the toxins in the soil and restoring the soil's balance. And the results, you have the seeds are sprouting faster, plants are growing stronger, they resist disease, and all these wonderful wild beings like earthworms, bees, birds, frogs, etc., come back and return to the land, all due to this wonderful Homa atmosphere. So to end this, Homa gardening is Ayurveda for the soil. Ayurveda balances the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha in your body. And Homa, farming restores balance in the soil and the water and the atmosphere. And this isn't just theory, because after Chernobyl in South America, hospitals, like you've already seen, farms in continents, the results are the same. The Agnihotra purifies, Agnihotra heals, Agnihotra regenerates. So we're not only helping ourselves when we perform Agnihotra in our gardens and use the ash in the gardens, but we are actively restoring healing to the land. We're restoring fertility, and we're creating food that is filled with prana, which is what is absolutely essential and needed these days. So there you are. Homa gardening is both an ancient and a modern and a spiritual and a scientific process. And it's the Vedic answer to today's horrifying ecological crisis. Thank you so much. That's all I have to say in the short time. Namaste.
Okay, thank you, Jarek. That was nice. Now we are more than half an hour late. We have to see and how to adjust. The next person will be Karin Heschel.
My name is Karin Heschel. I'm from Austria, but actually I spent most of my life in India working with the Indian farmers and with women under the poverty line. But what motivated me to do Agnihotra, that is what I wanted to tell you today, is when 1986, that accident in Chernobyl was happening, I and my family, we had a Homa organic farm, and we had to give food and samples and the milk samples to the scientists so that they could check how much radioactivity is there in the samples. Every farmer had to do that. And after a few days, the scientists, they called us and they said, what are you doing on your farm? Because from your photo samples and in your milk samples, there is no higher radioactivity. And actually for us, this was also a shock because we didn't expect it. And so we said, okay, the only thing what we are doing differently to the other farmers here is that we perform some Ayurvedic fire in the morning and evening. We showed them also what we were doing. And they said, thank you, and never came back again. So for me, that was not a very scientific attitude because they had the results on the paper, what was happening on our farm, but they didn't respond to it because they thought it's not possible. Then half a year later, the person to whom we were supplying vegetables, he also got our vegetable tested. And again, the people in the laboratory, they couldn't find any higher radioactivity in our vegetables. So this inspired me to go on and do Agnihotra myself, teach it to all the farmers I could get hold of, because there is, or at least not according to my knowledge, there are not many solutions for radioactivity, but Agnihotra is. So with this, I want to say goodbye because we are also late. Enjoy the other speakers. I was very happy to be here, see and hear some Indian faces and voices. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Karin. Now, on the paper, I would be next talking about scientific aspects of soil, Agnihotra and soil and agriculture, but I think I will skip that because we are pretty much late. And I would ask Nil Kumar to unmute Rory and Asha from Poland. Joanna and Rory Maher. They both live at the Eco Village Progo-Arania, and they are members of Homa Therapy Foundation Poland. They manage the community vegetable gardens and specialize in growing medicinal herbs. They give workshops on natural remedies combining Homa herbs and Agnihotra ash. Rory also works with honeybees and takes care of the cows with the principle of ahimsa. Of course, cows are very important for Agnihotra because you need the cow dung. So Rory and Joanna Maher. 10 minutes, please.
Yes, I'll put the timer on.
Great, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Hello everyone. Yes, well, Ulrich said I'm Rory and my wife Asha, or Joanna. Asha is short for Joanna. And we live here at Eco Village Progo-Arania. We've been living here for 25 years. We manage the gardens, the organic gardens, along with others, of course, and look after the cows and also the honeybees. But over that time, we've also specialized in Homa herbs, in growing medicinal herbs, which we use within the community for ourselves as individuals. But it's a season, it's a year-round thing that we do. When people get sick, we share the herbs, we help people, we take herbs for prevention during seasonal changes. And we have noticed some very amazing results from using Homa herbs specifically. So Homa herbs are basically, as it says, are herbs that are grown in a Homa atmosphere created by performing Agnihotra every day, morning and sunrise. And just like the nutritional value of vegetables goes up, so does the medicinal properties of herbs are vastly increased. The potency is quite amazing. So there are many aspects to Homa remedies, but aspect number one is obtaining the best material that you can so you can have the most potent remedy. Because a lot of the herbs that you get nowadays are quite inferior, so you don't get such good results. So by having super herbs, let's say, then you're going to get much faster and much better results.
We grow herbs on the farm, but I was introduced to herbs a very long time ago because my mom was like a homegrown herbalist and was treating us at home with natural remedies. We used to collect herbs, so I had experience before, and then when I came to Progo-Arania, we started growing small herbal garden, and also I collected herbs that were growing around in the fields, in the meadow, and it was interesting experience for me because I did notice that the herbs that we are able to grow here and collect in a home atmosphere, they actually did have different quality. You could even smell it, you can taste it, and they also were more effective, to my surprise, because it was just, it was noticeable for me. I never tested them in the laboratory or something like that, but I did experience that myself in the daily life. And also one thing I wanted to say is herbalism is also, there's another aspect to it. So like here in the community, we have a herb garden and vegetable garden, and the herbs are actually growing everywhere. And people who participate come to the gardens, have a contact with the herbs. That's another level of healing where they can interact, where they can connect with the plants, and that itself is is a healing on many levels. So volunteers and also members of the eco village sometimes help with the production of the medicine, and later I share it with community members, and often we have good results with treating simple problems, and also it's something you can use to support some other illnesses that may be more complicated, but we try to help as much as possible.
So yeah, and it's also not only just the herbs, of course, that are growing in the garden that we plant and grow. You can also grow medicinal herbs and culinary herbs that, when grown in a Homa atmosphere, also become more medicinal. But also the herbs that are growing wild within the boundaries of the Homa farm or your garden or whatever, which are still under the effects of Agnihotra. So those herbs are also going to be more potent that you find in wild, and often they are the most powerful. And of course, we make with those herbs what we call Homa herb remedies. And Homa herb remedies is basically using herbs which are already potent, but if you haven't got Homa herbs, you can use, of course, organic herbs as well, but best are the Homa ones. And we combine those herbs with Agnihotra ash. And it's already been shown by Monika Koch and by others, by Ulrich, the healing properties or the healing energy of Agnihotra is locked in the resultant ash of the Agnihotra. So we have two things. We have the herbs that are working on one, and then we have the ash. And we combine them both, and we make very, very good, effective medicines that we can use for ourselves. Our main focus is folk herbs that anyone can make in their own kitchen, in their own space that they have. Nothing has to be very complicated, but you can apply Homa herbal knowledge also to more complicated systems like Ayurveda and Western herbalism and things like
that. Well, my personal experience is usually with our European traditional preparations, like very simple infusions, which is basically a herbal tea decoctions that is also based with water, syrups, medicated ghee, tinctures, compresses, infused oils, and they can be, the recipes of course can be, there's plenty of them even online or in the books. All you have to do is add ash to that preparation. Usually it's enough to do small amounts, and a good thing to know is that it's best if all the ingredients are natural, and the best if they're organic as well for best effect.
And we don't use animal products at all, because the vibration of animal products doesn't resonate with that of Agnihotra.
This is just an example. I mean, everyone, I think, knows how to make a tea. So you just add a pinch of Agnihotra ash powder and changes the qualities and adds energetic aspect that works on the subtle level. So combining with the properties of herbs makes a completely different healing modality. This is also good to know for most people who already do Agnihotra, is that the ghee can be used also as a medicine. Monika Koch maybe mentioned already there is Agnihotra ash ointment, but this is kind of similar. You just add a herb to it. Like, for example, we used a lot of comfrey, which is very good for bones when there are broken bones or there is some inflammation and breakage in the tissue. We use calendula for skin problems. So there is many different ways you can make different cream by using different herbs. Yeah, well.
As time is short, we'll move on now to the bees. But I will just stress that anyone can grow herbs, even in a pot, and take advantage of combining the Agnihotra ash with the herb that we've got. And then, of course, of that, so here at the farm at the Eco Village, we also have our own bees, our own organic bees. These are grown. Bees are, of course, regarded as a barometer of the state of the environment. And they're very sensitive creatures. So when there's an imbalance, they're very much affected by chemicals, by pesticides in the flowers and things like that. And they are actually suffering a lot from disease, from mite infestation. And it is a battle, whereas 30, 40 years ago it was enough just to put a beehive in the garden and walk away. Now it's a constant management and having to look after them and keep them strong, immune system strong, and keep them healthy. So yeah, we've been keeping bees for over a decade now. And of course, the bees also give us wonderful products. They give us honey, propolis, beeswax, and pollen. And all these also can be used medicinally. The honey can be mixed also with Agnihotra ash and also powdered herbs, which is a great way, or grated root herbs like L-campaign or ashwagandha or whatever you have. The propolis is antibiotic and antiseptic, so we can also use that to make a tincture for sore throats, and so on, beeswax for creams and things like that. So it's very much a whole package that the bees can give us. But one thing that maybe people aren't aware of is that, as you can see here, bees are attracted to our Homa atmosphere as the amount of energy they receive from Agnihotra fire helps them perform at a greater level of efficiency. When this is translated to pollination, they help to increase the yield of crops. And then surprisingly, inborn in the honeybee are hormones that are produced in the Yagna, only in the Yagna atmosphere. These hormones help the nutritional value yielded in vegetables and fruits to yield at much increased rates. So having bees on a farm is a very vital, valuable aspect of farming, because it does bring balance and brings more production, more increase in yield to the farm. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
That was 10 minutes, Ulrich. That was 10 minutes.
Great.
Very good.
Great. Thank you, Joanna and Rory. Also, thanks a lot for keeping the time. And now let's go on to the next speaker, Ringma from Australia. We already saw her short video on dark field blood analysis. And Ringma is co-director, along with her husband Fritz Ringma, of the Homa Therapy Association of Australia. And since 35 years, they are running a Homa center over there in Australia. So now...
and since it's 1:30 in the morning, where Lee is, we have compassion.
So you need a cup of coffee?
I have one.
Okay, thanks for doing this extra effort to get up so early. Thanks a lot.
Or to stay up.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly well.
All right. Well, I'll go into share screen. Okay, so I'm going to talk about how Agnihotra can protect our environments, even during environmental disasters. How does it do that? Well, I would like to propose that it does that through creating a homobiosphere, or a protective field. So Agnihotra attracts a flood of life-sustaining energies into our environment, and it creates a nutritionalized, vitalized, and purified atmosphere. And this is the biosphere that we're talking about. It extends for 12 kilometers up in about a kilometer diameter. And this field is not just a biosphere or biological, it's also energetic. That is, it's a protective field of heightened vibration. To create this field, one needs to do regular Agnihotra sunrise and sunset, and the regularity maintains the biosphere. This is a quote from Sri Vasant Paranjapi, the preceptor of Homa therapy. Homes where Homa is done are protected. They are shielded as though they become spiritual fortresses. So we cannot give guarantees for protection, but we have heard of a multitude of experiences of protection worldwide, including our own experiences. So with the following experiences that I'm going to share, daily Agnihotra was performed and sometimes supplemented with Om Triambakam Homa as well. So this is our farm called Om Shridam. It's a home of balm. This is a map, and here you see OSD Om Shridam. And we're in a valley surrounded by mountains. This is in November 2019 to February 2020. You may remember there were firestorms. The whole of Australia just about was on fire. And it was a fire emergency for about 3 months. At our Homa Therapy Center, massive fire fronts. So these big gray things outlined are the fire fronts. Massive fire fronts were approaching us. And this particular fire front here was behind us, behind the mountains just behind us, only about a half a kilometer away. So the fire front over that 3 months never came closer than a half kilometer. Now, half a kilometer is quite close for a massive fire. However, it was like there was an invisible barrier for the fire to come further. And even when there was forecasted winds to blow in our direction, which meant the fire would come and burn our property down for sure. The wind invariably blew in the opposite direction and blew the fire away. And then during the peak of the crisis, we heard helicopter water bombers flying over our land, dropping water. Now, the fire services said this is most unusual. You simply don't have water bombers in the middle of the night. So somehow, by performing regular Agnihotra, we attracted this tremendous assistance from the universe. Similarly, further north of us, there were firestorms that were burning down all the properties. The fires just could not be controlled because they were so intense that not even the fire brigade could come near, or helicopter bombers with water could not get near. The fire was just too intense. Now, there was a lady about 3 months before this fire emergency. She had this intense inner prompting to restart her Agnihotra practice. And when the firestorm hit her area, she just managed to escape. When she returned the next day, she expected to see her property completely consumed by fire, as were all the properties around her. And to her utter amazement, and also to the fire brigade, the fire had come to 1 meter from her wooden farmhouse and simply stopped and not singed her wooden farmhouse. And you see this picture here. This is a wooden beehive in a completely burnt out field, and the fire did not touch it. Likewise, her cows in the paddock were somehow untouched. Her vegetable garden was completely untouched, and she only lost a water tank. So here you see incredible protection just from performing sunrise and sunset Agnihotra. This is amazing. There was a landslide. You see the picture there, total devastation. So this was in Venezuela in December 1999. Torrential rains and volcanic eruption caused mudslides, and over 1,000 homes were destroyed, and several thousand people died or were never found. There were 2 Agnihotris in this area. One, she lived with her brother in an apartment, and she performed Agnihotra every sunrise and sunset, while her brother continually made fun of her for doing such an unconventional, strange thing in a Western country. And when the mudslide came, it filled the building up to the 3rd floor. She lived on the 4th floor. They were completely protected. Then another Agnihotri, she lived in the suburb Los Corrales in this city, and the whole suburb was destroyed, except for one home, and this was the Agnihotra's practitioner's home. Her name was Mary Fuentes. She performed twice daily Agnihotra, and along with her family members, some Om Triambakam Homa daily. She was completely protected, whereas all the houses around her were destroyed. And she said she felt like there was an invisible wall surrounding and protecting the house. Industrial disaster. So our Indian audience would know of this Bhopal cyanide gas disaster in 1984. The world's deadliest industrial disaster exposed 500,000 people to toxic gas and claimed thousands of lives. However, and it was reported in the news with astonishment, Agnihotra families in Bhopal were protected. Several families also started up Om Triambakam Homa and found extra protection from burning eyes, sore throat, nausea, etc. And in the days after, volunteer Agnihotris performed Agnihotra amongst affected people and distributed Agnihotra ash medicine, including Agnihotra eye drops, giving much relief. In the Philippines in 2008, a tornado twister touched down 2 houses away from a group of Agnihotra households, lifted up, bypassing these Agnihotra households, and touched down again, wreaking destruction. And in another incredible demonstration of how the Agnihotra biosphere simply protects. I also would like to talk about this experience of a farmer, an organic farmer in Sumbawa, Indonesia, because this is like an environmental disaster. It was genetic contamination, not only in his crops, but in the whole surrounding jungle. So an expert in organic farming techniques was facing a farm riddled with mosaic disease. It was also in the surrounding jungle. This virus alters the shape of leaves and significantly lowers fruit production. With the mosaic virus, there's no conventional treatment other than burning down the whole crops. It goes into the RNA of plants. It lasts for 50 years. And if you harvest seeds from an infected plant, you will grow an infected plant. Very skeptical because he was a university-trained agronomist, but he was desperate. So he contacted us and started performing Agnihotra. So he performed it daily, sunrise and sunset, on the land near the growing crops. And he spread Agnihotra ash everywhere. Now, after 2 months, the farm was free of mosaic virus, which was in the genetics of the plant, free of this virus. And he'd spread ash all over the soil, not expecting any change. And he measured the soil 2 months later, and the soil pH had changed from 8, very, very alkaline, to 6.5, which is perfect for growing vegetables. And he'd also put Agnihotra ash down the borehole, and the water was the salinity in the water was greatly reduced, to his utter surprise. So here we have Agnihotra protecting an environment from a genetic disease in plants. So homotherapy protects in many ways. It's quite mysterious, but there is this Vedic statement which to me means a lot. Agnihotra does not destroy anything. It changes matter, including subtle matter, like the mind, from a distorted state into an ideal state of matter. So it creates a life-friendly state. Also, stress is completely neutralized in Agnihotra atmosphere. The mind is purified, and this makes for better decisions, which is also a way we can protect ourselves by making the right decisions at the right time. Then there's the karmic credit of performing Agnihotra regularly, which gives gives back to nature. Instead of taking, we're giving back. We're bringing all this vitality and nutrition, and we're neutralizing pollution. So it's a tremendous act of kindness. And the whole of nature thus gives a feedback of love. This again is a way it protects us. After 3 months of twice daily Agnihotra, generally the Homa biosphere remains intact, meaning if you perform it once or twice a week, the biosphere is created immediately you perform Agnihotra, but then it dissipates over time. But if you do regular sunrise, sunset Agnihotra for 3 months, the biosphere remains intact and acts like a buffer against all types of pollution. For example, Srivasant claimed that even if GMO seeds blew into the biosphere, they would not establish themselves as plants. Here's a quote from Srivasant, preceptor of homotherapy in its modern form as an antidote to pollution. At no time in history has the world lived on the razor's edge, so near destruction. However, that destruction can be averted by practice of Homa healing fires, and Agnihotra is the basic Homa, tuned to the biorhythms of sunrise and sunset. And just on another different tangent, another way that we can protect our planet and protect our environment is by performing Agnihotra at sacred sites and energy centers. So this is myself and my husband, Fritz Ringma, performing Agnihotra at a sacred Australian Indigenous site. So if you want to get in contact with us, our website is there and our email. Thank you for listening to this presentation.
Okay, thanks a lot, Lee, for this very interesting presentation. And also thanks for your extra effort to get up so early or stay up so late, because Australia is far ahead of our time zone. So that was really wonderful. And now we are heading to the next session, session 5, on youth, culture, and conscious living. And it will be Maria Brum and Parvati Rosen Bizberg. Maria Brum is since 50 years incorporating Homa fires into her life as a teacher, dancer, and storyteller. And she's very grateful to have traveled to India, Hawaii, and several African countries, and Poland, and always, wherever she goes, is able to share this Agnihotra fire. So over to you, Maria. 10 minutes. No, 8 minutes. Sorry, 8 minutes.
I won't even do 8 minutes. I'll keep it short, okay?
Great.
Love everybody. Okay, so about 50 years ago when Srivasant was here in Baltimore, he offered us so many lessons, so many things to learn. And one of the things that really stuck out for me was, if you're doing creative work, if you are starting a meeting or beginning any gathering, a class or whatnot, if you begin it with Homa fire, it makes it so easy for the people to receive and remember what you're offering, makes it easy for them to breathe, etc. So I remember that stuck with me. So I was doing Agnihotra, sunrise and sunset, but I was teaching dance classes. And so we learned other Homa fires. Vairuti is one of the main ones. Bu swaha, agnaye idam namama, boa swaha, vayave idam namama, swaha, suryaya idam namama, bur boa swaha, prajapataye idam namama. So I would begin all of my dance classes with this Homa fire, just getting everybody to sort of relax, rest, let go of anything that's been bothering them, and then we could get into the dancing and the choreography. So I thought, okay, that was wonderful.
And then I wound up doing all these performances for 20 years in all of the schools throughout really kind of on the East Coast. I said, okay, so how can I incorporate Homa fire in that? So I would come in with a basket on my head and playing the zills, the finger cymbals, get to the stage, and then I would just go right into Buswaha, the Homa fire. This is like audiences of 300, 400 children. They thought it just looked like, whoa, look at this lady. She's up on the stage doing this little fire, etc. But what it was really doing, it was saturating the atmosphere. It was saturating the atmosphere with a calmness, with a peacefulness. And then they got to enjoy all the storytelling and the dancing. So I did that for 20 years. And then I was asked to come teach at the Baltimore School for the Arts. It's a high school, 9th through 12th grade, and all of them are there to either learn dancing or acting, musicians, filmmaking. I'm trying to think what's the other one. I know I'm leaving something out. Anyway, I was there to teach dancing and storytelling in the theater department for these actors. So now I'm starting my 31st year there. But every single class for the last 30 years, begins with this Homa fire. And all of these children, teenagers, have learned the Homa fire mantra, the Buswaha that I just sang for you. And they love it. They loved the meditation. They loved being able to just be still. And when Barry mentioned earlier how much the youth right now is so in need of anything that will make them feel calm inside, that will make them know that they can access the divine within them, that they can really trust their intuition and their inner guidance. So all of my classes, and the thing is, this is a public school. This is a public high school. It is totally miraculous that I am able to bring Homa fire every single week, 5 to 6 classes a week, and have all of these young people learning Homa fire. Truly a miracle. It's for me, it's just been planting seeds. It's just planting seeds. These young people remember, and now 30 years ago, so they're adults. They have children of their own, some of them young grandchildren, and they remember it and they know it. And I keep thinking, okay, so one day when somebody actually comes and presents Agnihotra, the basic Homa fire to them, they can say, oh my gosh, yeah, I learned that. I learned that in the 9th grade, etc. So take some courage. It takes some courage to just get out there in public and just do it, whether it's for performances, whether it's for a class, whether it's for a meeting, but just do it. One thing that somebody told me, better to ask forgiveness than permission. If you try to ask permission to do the fire, the minute you say fire, it doesn't even matter what else you say. Even if you start telling them about it being science from the Vedas or whatnot, they heard the word fire, they don't want to hear it. The other thing is, in some of my classes, there are some students whose background is heavy-duty religious, so that to them, the fire looks like, oh my God, what is she doing? Is this voodoo? Is this Buddhism? I mean, they ask all kinds of questions, and so there's been a real attempt to constantly present it as the science that it is. That is a science, it is a practice that can actually clear the atmosphere of any kind of pollution and negative energy. But the bottom line is they love it. It helps them. And when they've all graduated, I am surprised at how many of them will say to me how much they appreciated it, how much they appreciated a time to just be still, go inside, and be calm. So that's the high schoolers. I'm going to throw it over to Parvati because she has done it with so many children across the planet, little children.
Thanks a lot, Maria. That was really nice. And also, I admire your courage to just do it. And it's very good good advice not to ask for permission because you don't get it.
You don't get it.
So now I'm waiting for Parvati. She was here. Oh, there she is. So Nishit or Nil Kumar, could you please, oh, she's unmuted, put her on spotlight.
Parvati is unmuted. Parvati, you can speak. Parvati, you're
Okay, now,
unmuted.
great. Thank you.
Hi, hello everyone. Namaste. I'm really, really, really grateful to be able to speak about my favorite topic in the entire universe, and that's children, because I feel that children are the hope for our future. If there is a future, they're it. And we need to pay more attention to our children and youth now, especially in turbulent times, environmentally disturbed times, politically disturbed times, and just so much chaos in the world. And it's hard for children as they're coming up because it's hard for them to have hope. It's hard for them to be brave, and they have to be heard. If there are any parents listening, any teachers listening, please, please, please listen to your children, because, you know, your ear and a few words of encouragement can make their lives completely different. That happened to me with wonderful teachers. That's how I know. So I started out, I started Agnihotra in 1975. I had been a severe asthmatic. After 2 weeks of practicing Agnihotra regularly, sunrise and sunset, I was completely healed of asthma. So that really inspired me. And I started working as a Head Start teacher first in the 70s, and then again in the 80s, and in different states of the United States. And when I worked with the children, they were, a lot of the times, they were troubled. They came from broken homes or troubled homes where there was violence and there was no good nutrition and just a lot of difficulties. There were a few of the families who were intact and they were wonderful people, but a lot of the parents were also suffering. So I asked if I could bring some of the children home with me. So they said yes. The parents were like, take them. So I took a group of the most troubled children that there were, hyperactive and aggressive and angry and withdrawn. And I brought them home around just before Agnihotra, and we did yoga together and we did meditation together. And then it was time for Agnihotra. And the kids were still a little bit, you know, nervy. I did Agnihotra with this group of children who I would say were severely hyperactive. The likelihood of them calming down was not much. And those children calmed down like it was a miracle. And they were nice to each other, friendly with each other. They were lovely. I noticed their breathing changed during Agnihotra. It started becoming, you know, they were breathing really short. When you're tense, you have a really short breath. And their breathing was slower and slower and slower. And it inspired me so much. I started to write Yoga and Meditation for Children, one of the books that I've written, one of many. And the Yoga Meditation for Children is also in Polish language. And it's, I'm not advertising. Sue Wendy handed me the book. But it really benefits children. It really is incredible to watch the effect on their nervous system. And I continued to use, I developed a program based on this book before it became a book. And I began teaching it all over. I went to South America, to Chile, and I taught it in the States. And then later, when I came to Poland, I married and we started the Eco Village Brugorania. That's a whole nother story. But I also taught workshops all over Poland, in every state of Poland, yoga and meditation for children, teachers workshops, and trained the teachers and taught them all Agnihotra and all the simple yoga poses and fun things to do with children and mandala drawing and so on. And then I gave a class on my own with my husband, Jarek. We gave a class in Krakow. And this was miraculous because this one teacher sent the worst children in her class, as she's put it. She heard this program was good for hyperactive children. So she sent all her hyperactive children. So I had 20 or 22 children all climbing the walls in the beginning. And one boy came in first, and his mother said, "This is the worst child. He doesn't listen. He's thrown out of class. We're thinking of taking him out of school. He's hyperactive. He can't focus. He's aggressive." And I just looked at him and I looked in his soul. And I saw this sweet child who wanted to be heard. And I just said, "I am so glad you came. Can you be my assistant? You're the first one here, and I really need an assistant." Well, that child completely changed from the atmosphere. I did Agnihotra with the children twice a week because I only had classes twice a week for 2 months. And this child became like an angel. And he was really my assistant. So I kept him as my assistant the whole time. And I praised him up and down to his mother, who needed to know. And the other children in the class also changed. One boy who was dyslexic turned his sentences around and couldn't write properly, couldn't read properly, completely healed of dyslexia after 2 months of 2 times a week doing Agnihotra with them. So you can imagine if they were regularly doing it every day. He was no longer dyslexic. He was writing normally and reading normally. And there was withdrawn children who never raised their hand in class and who were absolutely terrified of any interaction. And they began raising their hands, asking questions, interacting. And the hyperactive children that were in the class completely calmed down. Again, during Agnihotra, I would watch their breathing change. I would watch all the peace that surrounded them. It was so powerful that the teacher of these children called up the center where I was giving these workshops. And she said, please let me sit in on the next classes so that I can be a part of it and I can see how to do it and do it with the children in my class, because she never saw such changes in children. It was really miraculous. And I see the children who are raised here at Brugorania, at our eco village, and they're so much more calm and alert, and they're more open. And it's like the layer of pollution that's affected, that's removed. It removes the tension on their minds, and they're not nervous, and they're very interactive, and they're very, very highly creative. And it just, Agnihotra creates the most wonderful atmosphere in the world that you can give your children as a teacher as a parent, as a friend of children, as an auntie, as a grandma, grandpa. It really works with children. It's the joy. It's really been the joy of my life. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Parvati. Thanks a lot. Sorry, I forgot to introduce you. You did it in some way already. Parvati Rosen-Bizberg is an author, artist, and intuitive teacher from US, now residing in Poland, practicing Agnihotra since 1975. She's also co-founder of Eco Village Prugarania, an international Homa community with Homa Therapy Foundation Poland, an ecological educational NGO, and author of several books. One of the books she showed you, this was Yoga and Meditation for Children. Now, we finished this session that is actually on the schedule. We still have Dennis and Gillian with another video.
Hello, everybody. Hi. This is Gillian. I am Dennis, and we both are Agnihotra and Homa therapy teachers in the Netherlands. We give seminars at festivals, at private parties, at people's houses, wherever is possible. Yes. We do it in Holland, but also in Belgium, Germany, and also today online. We tell you a bit about what we do. A few years ago, we started actually with singing mantras, and we started with our mantra band called Om Shri. You can check us on omshrimusic.com. And what we normally do is during these mantra seminars or concerts, we make this combination of the Agnihotra fire in the evening with the mantra music. And Gillian can explain a bit more about that.
When we combine Agnihotra with mantra music, something magical happens. The vibration of the fire merges with the vibration of sound. Every note, every chant becomes a prayer. The music carries our intentions, and the flames amplify them, sending them into the universe. This is not a performance, it's a living meditation. It's a space where we connect to the elements, to each other, and to something greater than ourselves. Breathe in the energy, feel the fire cleansing our minds, the music opening our hearts, and together we create a field of peace, healing, and light.
Yeah, so if you combine these things together, Agnihotra and mantra chanting, what is it actually doing? When you chant mantras, during or after Agnihotra, a powerful and uplifting field of energy is created. These two sacred practices complement and amplify each other. The fire of Agnihotra purifies the atmosphere, clearing away heaviness and opening the space on a subtle level. The vibration of mantras then fills that cleansed space with rhythm, resonance, and positive intention. Together, they weave elements fire and sound, vibration, into a living current of energy that is felt both inwardly and outwardly. This often awakens a sense of sacred presence and deep connection with something greater than yourself. It can be seen in this way. Agnihotra opens and clears the channel, and mantra chanting lets the flow of love, light, and energy move freely through that channel, radiating into your body, mind, heart, and the surrounding environment. By combining these two practices, you don't just create harmony within yourself, but you also contribute to the harmony of the space around you. Many people describe it as entering a field where silence and sound meet, where earth and spirit merge, and where healing naturally happens. That is also what we often experience and what we also hear from the people who are sitting during the concerts in the audience. Mm-hmm. So Gillian is now going to prepare for you a Vyaruti Homa. This is not Agnihotra. And then we're going to chant, if you want to, you can join us with the Om Sahana Vavatu mantra. We're going to start this Vyaruti Homa, and when Gillian and I are done with the mantra of Vyaruti Homa, then we start with the Om Sahana mantra.
Swaha Agnaye idam namama Swaha Vayawe idam namama Swaswaha Suryaya idam namama Purvaswaswaha Prajapataye idam namama.
Thanks for listening to the Om Sana Vavatu mantra, and if your Ruti Homa is still burning, what is important to tell you is that before a concert or a seminar, we always try to do the Vyaruti Homa, and during the evening or the moment that a concert is, we always try to do that, include with Agnihotra.
Yes.
So that's important for us to let you know. Thanks for watching this short video of us, and enjoy the rest of this beautiful meeting today. And maybe we see each other somewhere in the future.
Yes, you never know. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Let us continue with the next session, that is session 6, Homa farms and communities around the world. And the first thing is living in Homa atmosphere in eco-village Prugaranya. That will be Parvati, whom you all know by now, and Karina Suvindi. Karina Suvindi is certified Agnihotra and Homa therapy teacher, and also a community member here of this eco-village Prugaranya in southern Poland. She, for the last 20 years, she has lived as a community member on Homa farms in Australia, India, and Poland. Now she is in Prugaranya. So it is about eco-village Prugaranya, Parvati and Suvindi, Karina Suvindi. 8 minutes, please.
Namaste. Hi.
Hello.
Namaste.
Yes, I'm sharing the screen with Parvati today. Thank you for having us. Yes, so I have been living at Eco Village Bugararanya for the last 15 years or so. And before that, I lived in Homa communities in India and in Australia. And what I noticed about living in Homa community is that the atmosphere was very conducive for self-development. It was also conducive for reducing anxiety, and this is my personal experience. And Agnihotra performed at sunrise and sunset every day, set up a biorhythm of attuning yourself to nature. And that was my personal experience in all of the Homa places that I've been in. I have been living here for 15 years now, and I have noticed that my life has completely changed from when I used to live in the city. Coming and living in community, living in an eco-village has taught me the benefit of being service-minded, service-oriented, and sharing and caring with many people who have the same goal of devoting their lives to saving our planet, to giving back to nature. So this has always been such a important part of my life, and has freed me from a lot of emotional and psychological problems that I've had in the past. And yeah, I feel like living in this type of community gives you the support to actually pursue your life purpose, because everybody supports each other to keep going. Sitting next to me is one of the co-founders of Eco Village Bugararanya, and this is Parvati, who you just saw before. She has been here for much, much longer than me.
30 years.
30 years. And has created a blueprint for other communities around the world. Anyone can come here and visit and see how it's done here and see if they can actually go back to their country and do the same thing, based on some of the structures that have gone on here. My main duties here at the moment is to be a part of the foundation, Homotherapy Foundation Poland, that is the umbrella that is over our eco-village. Basically, we have a foundation which allows us to teach homotherapy and Agnihotra for free. And
32-year-old.
32-year-old, one of the longest ecological educational foundations in Poland, longest living. So it's really amazing.
Poland.
Homotherapy Poland. So I'm going to ask Parvati to tell a little bit about how this place started and what it's like compared to beginning to today.
Well, it's like a total metamorphosis. It started out with Jarek and I searching the countryside because I had an intuition that we should look south of Krakow to create a farm. We had didn't have a directed intention of turning it into an eco village or building a community. We just wanted to live in the country and grow our own vegetables and fruits and so on in Homa atmosphere and be able to do all the fires. So we started looking. We found the first place and fell in love. But then we thought we need to keep looking for one more year. We looked, and then we came back to the first place, which was Brugoranya. And there are a lot of signs that pointed that we were in the right place. But the main thing is this place couldn't, it's a mixture of the phenomenal effects of homotherapy, of Agnihotra, of 5 hours of Om Triambakam Yajna performed here every day. And we do 24-hour yajnas on full moon and new moon, which many other centers do, and Homa centers. And also we perform Rudra yajnas on special occasions. So there's a lot of fire in the atmosphere, and it's really purifying, and it creates the feeling of very loving and soft and comforting atmosphere. And people really feel it when they come. And this community that has grown up from this, it started out just Jarek and I in a broken down log house, which we're sitting in now, which got renovated. No running water, no electricity, and a broken down barn. And now we've grown, and we've got families from Poland, Australia,
Slovakia, Czech,
Germany, Czech, Slovakia, Peru
/ Ireland,
and
America.
And now we have a new family who's just moved here, just now.
From Belgium.
A few days ago, a wonderful family from Belgium, also practicing Agnihotra. All of us here are vegetarian, many of us for a very long time. I've been vegetarian for 50 years. Woo.
And we also...
No, 55.
We also maintain Vedic lifestyle here.
Yes.
And practice as much as we can ahimsa. And it's the practice of nonviolence, and it's a very inspirational place. And we try to open our doors to as many people as possible to come through and actually experience what Agnihotra and homotherapy does to an atmosphere, to the earth, to the flowers, to the air that you breathe.
And to the people.
And many people say they cross a certain line on the road and they feel that something changes in the air as they, come up the road to our eco village. Like you go through some kind of magical dome. And it's, you can definitely feel the difference that 33 years of Agnihotra sunrise and sunset can do. And now we're trying to expand the place to reach even more people with a new center that we're building called the Center of Light. And it's going to be a really amazing ecological educational center, which incorporates all of homotherapy and Agnihotra in workshops and seminars, in education, inviting groups of children to come and learn about Homa gardening and organic living and Vedic lifestyle, just trying to reach more people with this very important tool for humanity.
And it's also open to other visionaries and teachers with universal teachings. And, for example, yoga, meditation, and mandala drawing, arts, creative dance, movement, music.
And all incorporating Agnihotra and homotherapy. Just by being in this atmosphere, many of the teachers that have come here to lead workshops have said that it's been the works that they've been doing has been intensified, it's been amplified by the atmosphere. So everyone please come and visit.
And the people here, we communicate with each other and work together. And, there's different people who have different roles, like the gardening and the bees and the cows and the ducks, Roy and Asha. And, and everybody here has a different role to play. And we work quite well together. We're really
Okay.
be doing this.
Thanks a lot. That was very interesting picture of this place. Of course, I'm not neutral because I'm also part-time member of this place, so I've seen it. We would proceed to the next one. That would be Sridham, Australia. And I see Lee is still there. And the people, because now we still have half an hour till we have to prepare for Agnihotra. So the people in Pugaranya can slowly, not immediately, but slowly go there, prepare the place, because we want to show also Agnihotra how it is being prepared and with a group of people. So you could slowly proceed and do that. And now we have Henry Gregory here, and there was Tom and Couto are also here. So can you please put Thomas Couto in the spotlight and Henry Gregory also? And I will, in the meantime, look for the PowerPoint, okay?
Sure. So Tom and I will do a few minutes, and then Henry will finish up with the last couple minutes.
Together
Okay.
you have 5 minutes, yeah? Not more.
Got it.
Okay, we'll do this quickly. A lot of the people that you see here that are doing presentations have had their start or their beginnings in Baltimore, actually. Parvati, Barry, who else there? Henry. But Sri came to America in 1972, I think it is. He came to New York, and then he came down to the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area, and basically taught as many people as possible, as many people showed up, how to do Agnihotra, and taught them about homotherapy principles at that time. There were several groups in the Baltimore area: Baltimore Family Life, Powhatan, Temple, and Agnihotra Press was started here in Baltimore back then. And from there, the satsang was produced, and most of his books were printed at Agnihotra Press. And he lived here most of the time in a house not far from here. When he was in the Baltimore area, it was sort of his base of operations for traveling around the United States and actually traveling around the world. He then
Hi, I'd like to share some photos of our homotherapy center.
Anyway, he then more recently inspired us to purchase and start a farm here. By the way, at Agnihotra Press, back in those early days, there were Homa Trumbacum fires done 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 13 years. I think it was one of the only places doing that at the time, if not the only place on the planet. But more recently, he inspired us to acquire a farm, Ancient Oaks Farm, which was purchased in 2013. And it's been developing. The hope is to develop it into a Homa farm and an eco-village similar to what's going on in Poland. And then Anne can take over from there.
Mm-hmm. So the farm is about like 30 minutes from Baltimore. It's 28 acres. It has like a 2-apartment home that we've rented that helps sustain it some. And we recently got an RV that has been rented to a gentleman that came up from a group of people down in South Carolina at Myrtle Beach, and he is like our new Agnihotra to help kind of get some fires going on there on a continuous basis. There is a 5-stall barn. We have 3 resident horses, a greenhouse, 2 streams on either side, and a large community center that can house a larger group of people to come through there to experience the Homa atmosphere. In the past, it has hosted children's programs, wellness seminars, drumming, Tai Chi circles, solstice celebrations, teacher nurturing programs for our teachers that put out a lot to these young children. Food's been grown through CSA programs. A new program is equine therapy with the resident horses with acupuncture and sound, which is great. Our focus is on children and doing some more of that, and children have been especially responsive to that kind of work. So that's kind of putting it all in a nutshell. We're still developing, working hard to kind of sustain and grow into this, our vision of a Homa farm there for this protective environment for people to come and do healing arts and help people find some peace. I'm going to hand it over to Henry now to kind of currently say what's going on now.
But we're kind of in transition. Like I said, we've had the farm for about 15 years, something like that. And we're transitioning. We have a very diverse population. A lot of different folks come in, more healers from all kinds of natural healing modalities. And bringing in children. We've been encouraged to bring in children and young people so they can be exposed, to come out of the cities and really begin to soak up the atmosphere of nature and of the Homa farm. And that has been going real well. And so we're in the process of trying to get some new contracts to do that. Mm-hmm. We also had a CSA where we were community support agriculture, where we were growing Homa-supported agriculture, and people in the community were buying it on a regular basis. And we're transitioning now. We're trying to start that back up again. But that was a stable for us for maybe 10 years, like that. So to say that. And just one note, on the Baltimore Family Life Center, you say that was composed of people from Powhatan Fire Temple. We looked around and saw there were several of us that were in human services as administrators and as practitioners. And that's when we formed Baltimore Family Life Center, started doing work in foster care, behavior health, and such. And that's where we started practicing Homa psychotherapy. So I think that's enough for right now. So anytime you want to come through Baltimore, though, you're welcome to visit us and spend some time with us. Yes.
Okay, thanks a lot, Anne, Tom, and Henry. By the way, I forgot to introduce Anne. Anne is also a long-term Agnihotra person, and she co-established the Agnihotra house in Baltimore, where they do all the fires and together with her husband and the help of Baltimore community. So now let us again go to Australia, and she suggested that I show the video instead. So let's do that.
Hi, I'd like to share some photos of our Homotherapy Centre and farm in Australia, and I hope that it does justice to the peace and vitality that is so evident on Homa farms and homotherapy centres. Our place is called Om Shri Dham, or the Abode of Om. It's a homotherapy centre and farm. As with all homotherapy centres, Agnihotra sunrise and sunset are performed daily, as well as other homas, such as Om Triambakam Homa. But the pivotal and most important Homa is Agnihotra sunrise and sunset. You can see the vitality that it creates in nature. Not only in nature, it creates vital and happy people. Cows are pivotal in homotherapy. They're treated with much love and respect, as are all living creatures on the farm. Indeed, all homotherapy centers practice ahimsa, or harmlessness to all living creatures. The cow dung from the cows is dried daily, so we collect it fresh in the morning and then dry it and mail it out all over Australia to people who cannot dry it themselves for their own Agnihotra practice. We also manufacture the copper pyramids here and the other copper implements, which is quite a unique thing. It means that they're manufactured in Homa atmosphere, so have a lovely vibration right from the beginning, and they're made according to Vedic prescription. We have a Homa organic food garden that includes orchard and vegetables. Agnihotra ash is fed to the soil, fed to the water and the plants, and it's also sprayed on the plants through the medium of water. So water is, Agnihotra ash is placed in water in a copper bin preferably and charged under the sun and then sprayed on the crops. Triambakam Homa often accompanies planting with Agnihotra ash in the soil. We have accommodation for visitors wanting to learn about homotherapy and how to practice Agnihotra, their own Agnihotra at home. But we also have accommodation for volunteers so that they can both enjoy and heal in Homa atmosphere as well as give a helping hand. Homa organic produce is invariably vital and nutritious. It is really a palpable and tangible experience, a different taste. The vitality is, and the nutrition is so evident. Agnihotra is performed in the garden as well, and the plants simply shine with life force. Agnihotra is taught and shared free of charge all over the world, and it is indeed the need of the hour, and therefore must never be commercialized. So this is sharing Agnihotra at Om Shri Dham, and we also go outstation and share it all over the place, including going overseas if invited to places like Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, New Zealand. We're building a retreat center so that we can expand our facilities and be able to accommodate more people and enable more people to enjoy Homa lifestyle. This is my husband, Fritz Ringma. He's been the main builder of this incredible building. There's a central dome room where the homotherapy workshops will be held, but also workshops in yoga, sound healing, ecstatic music, different healing modalities, sustainability courses, and much more. All that is good. Upstairs is accommodation, and we have a Homa organic food kitchen and a healing therapy room. So if you want to get in touch with us, this is our website, and I hope you enjoyed this humble presentation. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Lee. It was really nice. Gives a good impression.
Yeah, very good. That's very well done. In fact, I work as I'm an Ayurvedic practitioner as well as a lifestyle counselor and mental well-being consultant. And most of the time I talk about the rainbows of the food. And those rainbows of the food I could see from the pocket of your organic vegetables, actually. That really made me happy. And I can really feel the prana and the sattvic food and the sattvic living, how it is coming from your retreat center and your Homa place that clearly gives the vibes.
We have a small Agnihotra community here in Madison, Virginia, and the Paramadam Fire Temple is the heart of our community. It was started in 1973 and was the first fire temple of its kind in the world for reviving the ancient science of purification of the atmosphere for the new age. Many people have experienced profound stress relief and peace while sitting in the fire temple, and some have had special healing and spiritual experiences as well.
We still have two more people, 5 minutes each. One from Germany, one from Chile. First, Homerhof, Germany, Birgit Heigl.
Yes, yes, Birgit, guten Abend.
Yes, I speak from Germany, from South Germany, Homerhof. This is Homa Therapy Center since 1988. It's 47 years ago that we have founded this place. And it was founded by my former husband, Horst Heigl. He has learned about Agnihotra at 74. And since that time, we are performing Agnihotra in Germany. And this Homa Center we have we are about 50 members here, and we all together are running this farm. And we are doing Agnihotra every day. We are beginning our day at 5 o'clock in the morning with Yagna, and at the end is at 9 o'clock p.m. also with Yagna. In between, we are performing 4 hours every day Yagna. We are doing Agnihotra and many short Yagnas, also in between 6 times a day. We have about 20 hectares of land. We are planting, we have a lot of trees, we have apple trees, we have about 15 tons of apples every year, and they are growing in this wonderful Homa atmosphere. And yes, we have heard from other centers what wonderful experience they have with the land is protected, that we also can see that when thunderstorms are or whatever, that the land Homa farms are always protected. So everything is growing very, very well. We have also bees, 24 beehives, lot of honey, and we can see that the bees are healthy, and honey is very, very good for the people also. Yeah, we have every year many visitors and also many people who are helping us, volunteers, and we are giving 2 or 3 times a month. We have seminars about Homa therapy, and many people are coming from Germany, from Austria, from Switzerland, and all they are learning about this Homa therapy. And the most important thing, I think, is that they can feel, as you have told, the atmosphere here, and they became healthy in very, very short time when they are here, because of this, from this atmosphere they can feel. And yes, I want to make it very short because the time I have heard, but I want to show some pictures, and I hope it will work. Okay, this is the Homa farm. You can see the vegetables we have and the house, and there are caravans where people can live. These are visiting us, and they help us on the farm. And yes, you see, it's big land. What we have, a lot of vegetables. We are selling them, and the people can test how wonderful the food is. And we also do Agnihotra at the fields and Yagna while we are working on the fields. We have these wonderful apples every year, and we have a very, very fine apple juice from these apples. And when you test this apple juice, there's so much energy inside from all these fires, so that people only from drinking, they feel better, and they say, what is this? There's something different. Yeah. Every year we have one highlight. It's a summer meeting, so many people are coming. So we have seminars during these summer meetings. We have guests from all of Europe, also from India, and from many countries. We talk about different things about Homa therapy in different points, and highlight every time is when we can do Agnihotra outside with hundreds of people. So this is I think the most great experience we have every year, this summer meeting with all these many people. And of course, everybody is welcome on Homahof to experience this atmosphere, to experience how wonderful the fruits are growing. The people all together here, 50 people are running this farm, and everybody is welcome to help, to experience, yes, and to see how nice everything is here. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks a lot, Birgit. And great that at the end the photos work. Very good. I've been there a couple of times for the summer festival, and it's really impressive to have some 100 people performing Agnihotra there outside on the lawn. It's really a wonderful experience. So thanks a lot. And now Karina Ohme from Chile. Karina, she studied journalism at different universities in Chile and has a master degree also in communication. And since 2013, she owns and runs Satsang, a small Homa farm where the fires are kept close to Santiago de Chile, say 50 kilometers away. And she does with some friends and helpers organic agriculture, and they are developing biofertilizers and also give workshops related to Homa therapy, meditation with mother trees, and labyrinth walks are held. Okay, now I'm moving over to perform Agnihotra, so I might be offline for a few minutes, but then I should be back. Okay, Karina, go ahead. Okay.
Hello. Nice to meet you all. I'm going to share about Satsang Farm here in Chile and a little bit about our story here. As Ulrich said, we started 13 years ago after 10 years searching for a place close to Santiago, the main capital, and with some suggestions from Sri Vasant. Following those suggestions, so we found this place in 2013. It's still now covered by native trees, and it has one specific part where we could have our vegetable garden. It was an asphalt tennis court that we had to take away the asphalt first. This is the rest of the asphalt that you can, of the tennis court that you can see. And the asphalt is this black material that was covering the whole place. And this is how our garden looks today. So how we started, after 2 years, we took away the asphalt. It was 18 trucks full of asphalt. And we started with volunteers to remove the stones and all the rest of what was there, and first seeding the vegetable garden. Here are our first volunteer groups, Chilean groups. And even a farmer here told me nothing would grow in this dead soil that was under this asphalt carpet during more than 15 years. I put a lot of natural seeds that I was keeping with Agnihotra ash, and also with Agnihotra ash, everything started to grow. Here are our first international volunteers from Australia and from England, helping in the garden. How did we get to this point? With conviction, perseverance, friendship, love for each other, and also for life. And of course, with meetings, workshops, and with a volunteer program, especially with Workaway. After every meeting we do a workshop, we perform always Agnihotra. And we perform Agnihotra daily, sunrise and sunset. At the beginning, we create community through open meetings with experienced Agnihotra practitioners, such as Irma Garcia from Venezuela, who came and visited us especially in 2014, she was several times here, and we made meetings, open meetings here at the place. Also, Dr. Purushottam Rahimbale, who participated in an international congress here in Chile, in Santiago, stayed at the farm for several days, and we made a lot of meetings with people from Chile and also from other countries, Latin American countries, for example, from Brazil, who traveled here especially to meet him here at the farm. Dr. Ulrich Berk was also here in Chile participating at this congress and stayed also at the farm. And he gave conferences in different towns, also in the town close by to the farm in Curacaví. So farmers from the surrounding could learn more, and also from international people, scientists, about Agnihotra. We had help from different friends around the world who came here, participated at gardening and teaching with workshops. Dr. Abel, Jessica Ausa, and different people. And I'm part also from Fivefold Path Foundation here in Chile, and our meetings, mostly of them, take place at the farm, and we do different things during those days, like farming, singing, friendship. In 2017, we started our with different kind of workshops in Homa agriculture. Here with Carolina Morales, she's an agri engineer specialized in Homa farming, and with Juan Jose Rodriguez from Venezuela, also specialized in Homa farming. We have done a lot of workshops in Homa farming during all these years with different groups, very beautiful groups, happy, enthusiastic groups, who learned from Homa farming here at the farm. This is the last one here this year. After every workshop, we perform Agnihotra, and we teach Agnihotra to everyone who participate here. We have our volunteer program. They learn how to do Homa farming, different kinds, like seeding and how to do composting. They perform also Agnihotra, volunteers here, sunrise, sunset Agnihotra. And if they don't know how to do some art or they are artists, they also have a place for art. If they want, they can also learn how to do the cow dung cakes. Here is Juan Jose, and Juan Jose with his mother, who stayed with us many years, several years here also at the farm. And well, if they want to do some special cakes, they also can do it with cow dung. Today we're producing, since some years, also Homa biofertilizers, Homa biosol, and also microbiology. We do workshops about it, and we do some researches. This is, we took part of a national congress in Homa, in organic agriculture in the south of Chile, and we showed how to produce Homa biosol. Today, we produce microbiology, efficient microbiology from native trees, and we are able to sell it in the open market. Everything is done. We are an arc of ancient and natural seeds. That was one of the suggestions from Sand in those years. And we got more than 100 varieties of seeds, much more than that, different kind of tomatoes, of corn, and a lot of seeds. All of them maintained with Agnihotra ash. We recovered our water well during the very dry season. We had like 15 years of dry seasons, and one especially very hot year in summer 2020. And Juan Jose put every day Agnihotra ash to the well, and we could recover the water levels. Today, this year, we started with a reforesting program from the Chilean Forestry Institute. We are reforesting with native honey trees.
We have a live Agnihotra over here. Beautiful.
And every 10 seconds.
All together. Okay. Karina, you lead. Loud.
Agnaye Swaha Agnaye Idam Namah Prajapataye Swaha Prajapataye Idam Namah.
So now you see it was a very simple. Agnihotra is a very simple process, just takes 5-10 minutes, but it really has wonderful effects.